What's up, everyone? Bradley Jack Design here again. Had a little bit of a difficulty getting this to launch at 1, but we're here now. So we got mics working, we got video working, hopefully chat is working. Let me hit restore chat. We'll see if chat's working. Whoa, that's a big chat. We don't want that. So today we have planned a Jayden Daniels design. I was going to do Bucky Irving or AJ Brown, but neither of them played very well, so we're going to do Jayden Daniels instead. Bucky at least scored, but AJ Brown had one catch for 10 yards and then read a book, which could have been a thing we could do, but decided against it. So there's a couple avenues we can go with this. Up to you, single viewer watching this right now. Do we want to do a sports card design, or do we want to do a more photo manipulation, or do we do both? We might have time to do both. So these are the two images I downloaded. I edited them already because I didn't want to waste time on stream editing that, because we could spend an hour editing and cutting out photos. So I've got these two ready to go. We can do a simple composition, big guy, little guy. I also have in here some photos I took years ago in DC because it's the Washington Commanders, so that might be something that we can use that would be cool. This is the inspiration we have. Right, we could do both. We'll see if we have both. Because I saw this and was like, we could do something nice like this. Scenery, him in the background. But these are like the inspiration I pulled for this week. Like, I thought it'd be cool if we had it in like a container somewhere. Just the little things breaking out of a container. You know, this design Johnny did, of course. Nighttime. I don't really want to make this into a night scene. But then just this sort of aspect. Some lighting with a scene. You know, this is really nice. So background, him in the background. I just like silhouetting. Doing stuff like this is nice. Nice little accents here. Same thing here, you know, that kind of idea. Something like this. Maybe it's blurred in the background. We just have them in the front. But these are the inspirations I pulled for this silhouette we talked about last week on the stream. So, okay, chat's not working on stream, so that's always good. It's always super annoying. I think it's because I scheduled the stream. So chat right here, it's not gonna work. So ignore it. If that's not gonna work, I might as well. What happens if I hit this? Oh god. Okay, we don't want to do that. We'll go here. Whatever, it's fine. Back to Photoshop. So let's start off with this. So I like this idea here. I found these images. I was trying to figure out where to put the capital. So like compositionally, you see here, I've got my file set up. If you're new here, files I use are always 3000 pixels by 3750 at 300 pixels per inch, which really doesn't matter. It could be 72. I just like 300. I have the space. And oh, look, chat's working again. Cool. I fixed chat on accident. Great. So that's the size that we're working with. And that's just because that's the size that it's gonna fit on Instagram. We could always resize this and make a wallpaper out of it, which would be kind of true to what you would see with a client. Like usually if I make a manipulation of something, a client will ask for a 4x5 and then a 9x16 so they can post it on the Instagram story. So with these two images, I was trying to figure out a nice little composition with these. I was trying to figure out which one of these photos might work best with him running. But I want him running while also having like Caleb in the background, but not covering up the capital. I guess I can always just mask it so he's not in the background. So I have him sort of running like this. You know, but I want Daniels over here, but I don't want him covered. But then I think this needs to be like smaller. I thought about this a little bit before stream just to get like an idea. So like, I like this, but we don't have the side of the capital. So I've got this other photo that might work as well. It doesn't have as much at the bottom. We can probably gen fill in some of this. So it's sort of like this. And then we just, oops, mask out, you know, this here. So it's sort of like this, so football's behind it, which might work. We just need to gen fill this area out. So let's just do that just to see what we've got going on. This is a raw photo. So that's good because I can make raw edits to this photo now to ensure that it looks cooler. So I don't know, like, I'm not a landscape photographer at all. So like, I honestly don't know what I would do to this. You know, I would do my like sort of general edits I do to everything, which kind of might work. You know, we can do some cool stuff with color grading and stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a smart object. Then I can open it up and just do whatever I want with it. Because it's not a raw photo. A raw photo, I'm only going to be able to use camera raw with that. So I'm going to go up here. I'm just using the crop tool. I'm just going to go up to the top and hit generative expand. I'm just going to move it over a little bit and just hit enter. And what this is going to do, it's just going to fake whatever this is over here. So I think this is the House. So I think this is the House of Representatives. This might be Senate over here. I don't know. Oh, I need to hit enter. So over here, which you can't see, generative expand. This is what I use generative AI for the most, is basically going in and expanding out photos. It's what I do most using sort of AI. So it filled it in, which before, after, we'll probably end up blurring it anyway. So I think it's fine. I'm gonna do it again though. I'm gonna hit Command A and then hit C and then drop this down a little bit and do generative expand and expand the ground at the bottom. And that's gonna give me more leaves pretty much. And we'll see what this looks like. I do have another photo of this where it's sort of swapped, which I think might work better for the composition, but there's a billion birds in it. Like a lot of birds. So I don't want to go through and fix that. So I'm going to save this file, go back here. So now we've got a place for him to run. And you can see it's not that great. Like you can see how it's clear here, but not here. We might get different grass and just put it on the bottom. That way we can use this image. So I'm going to move this down just a little bit. So he's like next to it now. And I think I want to make this smaller. And one thing we could do instead, we could have him on this side and then have him running, you know, down here or something like that, which might work. Let me delete this layer mask. Let's get rid of this. Let's focus on these two guys here. So I think what I want to do first is I want to get rid of this plain dull sky. So the sky kind of sucks. I'm going to get rid of this real quick. How do I want to do that? What if I use the object selection? Is that going to select just... No, it's going to select that. Is it going to select just this? I want to select this object. But I don't want to select all this stuff here. Is there a contiguous up here? No, okay, that's fine. I can just remove it. Remove it. Let me hit the right button to remove it. Okay. So we'll go to select, modify, not contract. Select, modify, expand. We'll do like 5 pixels. And then I can go up here, hit M, and I can hit generative fill. And it's going to fill in that area so that we don't have those leaves up there. So then I think what we want to do is we want to give this background some life with lighting. We could do something else. I think Johnny did that though. Is that what he did? No, he did. I'm trying to think. So Johnny Silva, if you don't know who Johnny Silva is, this is designed by Johnny. He's... Oh God. It's gone forever. It's like trying to snap. Hold on. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay. Instagram. Instagram.com. Great. Here's my Instagram. Congratulations. Johnny Silva. So he made something. See, I saw this Jets thing. Almost pulled that for inspiration. You know what? He might not even have it on here. Because this is all old stuff. It might be on his Twitter account. Or his Behance. Let me look at that. B.net. I don't want to log in. It's going to be like, hey, I need you to enter a code. Can we text it to you? Oh, no, it's going to just log me in. Good. Johnny Silva. Yeah. Ciao. Designed by Johnny. See, he goes by designed by Johnny, but I think Johnny's his more Americanized name. Designed by Johnny. Maybe it's on his Twitter. There's one very specific thing I think he did. I don't want to copy it. I got an idea of what I want to do, but I don't want to just blatantly rip off something he did. So let me hide my messages on Twitter. Let's look at Johnny's media. This is what I want to look at. Great. By the way, how are y'all doing today? Did you guys watch these games over the weekend? It didn't seem like I needed to watch the Vikings game last night because it did not go well. Well, it went well for me because I'm a Bears fan, so another NFC North team's gone, which, pity. So we did this, but this isn't what I'm thinking of. I distinctly remember there was a cap. Ah, this is what he did. This. He did this really nice Dwayne Haskins thing. And look at this crazy good. See, this is a great photo of the Capitol building. So I was going to do something where it's more in the middle. This was for the 2019 draft with FedEx Field, which is nice. So it'd be similar, but not the same. So I think we might be able to get it to what I want to do to work. Let me just open up Bridge. So I use Adobe Bridge to look at photos, which is a really nice way of organizing photos and looking at them. The only issue with Bridge is it is super cache heavy and sort of computer boggy is what I'll say. So like I can look on here for like images I want to use. Actually, I know what I want. So I'm just going to search for DC 2017 because they're photos I took 7.5 years ago. 2017 DC. DC. See, I'm going to search my server. But it's just taking forever to load said server. In Bridge. Like on my other screen, I've got Bridge up and I'm just pulling through some images. Here we go. Okay, let me do this. Okay, cool. So let me pull this over so you can see what we're looking at. So this is Adobe Bridge. So I like using this just to organize photos. It's cool because down here you can see all this information on it. I use it because I'll like star photos that I want to do stuff with. So these are photos of red pandas that I 5-starred because they're red pandas. But some of these have no ratings, and a lot of these are going to filter in. There's like, I think 2,000 photos in here. So they're going to take a while to load in, for one. Let me just see how many photos are actually in this. Yeah, there's 1,400 things in here. But they're photos of like the Capitol that I took. So I think I want like a straight on shot of the Capitol. And we'll do sort of a symmetrical design. Greetings from Egypt. Awesome. Welcome from Egypt. That's pretty cool. So whenever I go on trips, like I usually bring my camera so I can take photos of stuff like this. So I have photos all around DC that we can use. So like this is a really nice photo. I think I want something with a little bit more landing room in the front like this, so he can be standing on it. Or, you know, we could do the White House. If we want him in front of the White House, we could do that. I think I got one of these photos. It's better than the other. Is it this one here? Yeah, so like this side, we can see the White House and we can do something with that. The Capitol building just has a lot more pull visually. We could do something at night, the Lincoln Memorial. These photos are a little busted though. But I mean, look at this photo. Like, this would be cool to use. It's got a sky in it already. It's interesting. I just don't know what we put in the front. Like, we could put him in water. I don't really want to do that. But this is just the way of thinking of what can we do? What do we have photos of? These are all going to be zoo photos and random things. So we could use one of these photos as a Capitol building. This is sort of from the side. Let's see if we have one more from the front. And we could put like any, you know, we could put these statues in spots. So like Jefferson and Washington we could do. I do have this nice photo here of the Washington Monument. We could gen fill out all of this and do something with it. And I think I actually stitched these photos together. It's like this big, huge, wide shot looking outside of the Capitol. This is like looking out of the Capitol building, which is cool. But I think some of these shots might work well. Like this would be good straight up and down. See, I just really like what Johnny did. I just don't want to steal it. Let's take a look at what we have here in Photoshop. And we can keep this up and we can figure it out. So we have this photo. I mean, we could do something symmetrical with this even. Where this is in the middle, like this. Maybe we make it smaller because we have a little bit more room to play with. And then we put Jayden Daniels up at the top behind this. The issue is he's got all this movement to the side. It humorously would make sense if we did something like Johnny did and we put this here and sort of capped these up. I don't know. This is the decision issue, you know, with trying to figure out what to do with images, what to do with just the scene. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. We could do sort of a hodgepodge of things. But I think the main thing I want to do is let's edit this. I want to put this into a smart object too. So I think what we should do is basically fix this. Just fix the scenery here. Oops. So I'm going to just generatively expand this upwards. And that's just to give me more stuff up top. And then let's replace the sky on this. So I showed a video how to use channel selections to select buildings that are complicated. This isn't a complicated building, but let's take a look at the channels to see if we could easily cut this out. So we could take this blue, duplicate the channel, and I'm probably going to use just the sky replacement tool on this. There's a sky replacement tool. But we'll see if we can get this to calculate well. So what worked last time really well was this linear burn. And then we did it again. We did a calculations of, I think, like overlay. I think we want to screen it. Let's do an overlay with this. Yeah, let's not do this. Because since this is such a decent isolated photo, let's just find a sky now. So if you've ever used the sky replacement tool, it's really nice. All you have to do is go up to edit, sky replace. It'll pull up a window, which is over here. And it has default ones set already. And it'll replace the sky. And you see how it's like really foggy and fuzzy. It's really fuzzy on the end, which is not what I want at all. So it's not fading in very well. But if I put like a different sky on here, it might look a little bit more natural. So here, what we're going to do instead is we're going to manually do this ourselves. So I'm going to hit select subject, which is very similar to
quick select.
And then I'm going to this is the wrong keyboard. I'm going to select this down here. And honestly, this would be theoretically a time to like maybe use the pen tool. Probably use the polygonal lasso tool instead, just to add to this, so I can add straight lines. Could probably Photoshop this in. Let's keep this in, because tiny little things like this add a lot to the design. You can get it to look nicely. See, like this is all jagged. Probably would be advantageous to use the pen tool here to really trace around some of this stuff. But if you know me, I really don't want to do that. This is what I don't like about guides sometimes, is it locks to guides, which I don't particularly want here, but I need my guides up. So I could hit locked. I could tell it to not snap to the guides, but we can figure that out later. I guess it's kind of busted right here. And this is really, you know, busted over here in general. So let me add just this back. And you can see where the gen fill is kind of janky compared to this. It'll be kind of a nice and amazing when they, I don't want to say catch up, but sort of catch up with what some other AIs are doing, just generating. And make it so it generates better. I think that'll be pretty nice. We just add like down here. I don't really care about over here because I think it's going to get cut off. But we'll add this. And then I'm going to go to select and mask. This is how I like to select and mask things. Is this the right tool? Yes, this is the refine edge brush. So it should cut in really nicely on these trees because it's refining the edge. I think I'm going to have a little bit of difficulty with the building because it is similar to the sky, but we should be able to adjust this contrast. So I'm just going to go in here and just paint, and it should get in between these gaps, which is good. These gaps are kind of busted because they're generatively filled. But like this here, like what is it going to select if I increase the contrast? So some of this stuff is a little weird, but I know having these things cut out. Is this a crane? I'm just going to remove this crane. It's just going to make this look nicer. Especially if we add a different sky to the background, it's going to do a lot to showcase that. So I don't know what's up here. So I'm just going to like sort of fake this back in. It's going to be so small anyway in the final composition. I don't think it's going to matter. Just add this little, I'm assuming, guard tower back in. So that side fine. This side we need to tweak. So I'm going to hit R, which is the refine edge brush, and go along the edge of this. And it cut it out pretty good. So I'll just do it up here. It's not cutting out necessarily inside here. It's getting some, but not all, but that's fine. See, this edge right here should be a lot smoother. So I'm just going to paint it back in. So I'm just going to grab the brush tool, which is B. Hold down Shift. It'll draw a nice straight line. I think that's easier than using the pen tool, because I can do it in one step at a time instead of a one full swoop. That's the main gripe with the pen tool is you can't make a mistake. If you like accidentally hit enter or you double click, it like commits and it just breaks everything. This is doing a pretty good job of getting these spaces. We'll just remove the security camera. We don't need it. It's fine. Okay, I can hit R and then we can go back here to manipulate this. Now it's not doing the best job because it isn't certain what it's supposed to add or remove. So I'm just going to manually remove it with this brush. Up here at the top, we'll cut this out. We'll cut this out. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to swap the sky out manually. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to be able to have the like light point or like the flare behind it wherever we want. So I'll probably put it behind the subject so it looks cool. I know someone wanted me to do some glow and lighting tutorials, so I'm going to kind of try and do a little bit of that with this. So we just paint. If it screws up, we just grab a different brush and go in here and edit this. And the good thing with this photo is, one, I took it so I can use it and do whatever I want with it. But two, I know it's a high resolution photo. You know, sometimes we can find images online, but they're not the best. Sometimes they're still pixelated or small, or it's not the exact angle. And that's sort of why people use AI, is to find the exact angle of something they want. I'm going to turn my guides off for a sec so I can do this here. You know, they need a banana in this exact angle. I guess just go take a photo of a banana in that point, because like, go buy a banana, they're 4 cents. But other things, it might be a little bit more difficult. But I like taking photos when I go on vacation, just so I have photos in my library. If I ever want to use them, I can, like this instance right here. So I updated this contrast, and sometimes it breaks, and sometimes this breaks a little bit. So this looks good. Down here at the bottom, it says output to layer mask. So if I hit OK, it's automatically layer mask. So I can hit save. If we go back here, we now just have this building, which is good. But we want to go here. I want the building here. Yeah, it's 1 banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10? Kevin, what kind of camera do you use? I don't have a great camera. I can tell you what these were taken on, because in here, it says right here. I took this. It should be on here. I took this with a Canon Rebel T2i. This is my older camera. This is a really old camera. A Rebel T2i with a E24 105mm lens. I took it a focal length of 76mm with an f-stop. Oh, that's a max aperture. No, I took this at f-stop of 22 at 1/200th of a second. And I took this photo on 11/21/2017 at 12:02 p.m. That's another cool thing about Bridge, is it'll give you all of that information. So I don't have a full frame camera, which are some of the really expensive cameras. They're called full frame. I just have a nice sort of cheaper camera that I use. I have a nicer lens for it though, which does a lot. So we want to go and we want to find a sky. So I don't know if you all have a preference as where to find skies. I use just Unsplash and Envato. Envato is a asset website that I use all the time. It's really nice. I mainly use this for like 3D items they have that you can download, which are sweet. But they also have photos of skies. So I think I want a, stereotypical. Usually what it is to add some flair to this is like a sunset. But we could do something with like a clear blue sky instead and make it super saturated. So like this is a colorful sunset. It says sunset. It doesn't really look like a sunset to me. So I'm going to drag this on here and just put it behind it and kind of do that. Yeah, Pixabay is good for royalty-free stuff. It's what I tell my students to do. If they're trying to find images, is go to Pixabay for royalty-free images. Envato is essentially a paid version of that. They might have better stuff on here because it is paid. Okay, so this is this blue sky. I just like this blue sky better. We're going to use that. So up here, I need to make some adjustments. So I am going to... Let's go to exposure. Let's make this a little bit brighter. And let me go to... What do I want here? Color balance. See, the issue is I don't want to make it too cold. I want to add a little bit of blue into this, because the original photo is really this. It's sort of just desaturated. So this is just sort of brighter. It's not necessarily bluer, but I can set this to like -3 and 3, which is going to add blue to it. It's technically going to make it colder, which doesn't actually make sense. I just want to see what this looks like. I think that's kind of okay. I'm going to duplicate this and put it up here. I want to see if we can sort of fake. I'm going to blur this like 15 pixels, like 50 pixels, kind of like this. I want to see if I can give this a fringe. I'm going to turn this into a smart object. That way I can do stuff with the selection. I'm going to contract this 1 pixel. And things are sort of breaking. And if they're breaking, I'm blaming Bridge on it because it's just sort of a boggy thing. So if I zoom in here, this is what this is doing. It's adding a little bit of a glow behind it, which I think is kind of accurate. So that's kind of nice. I think this is a better image than the other one. It's got a better background. Now, I know this is marble. You know, it's not white. Well, what if we made it super white? So how do I want to do that? Let's go to hue and saturation. Let's go to yellows. And then I only want to select, I usually select the plus and minus, but I really want to select like this. And then just desaturate it. And what that did, of course, was it took all of the green with it, which is not what I wanted. But I'm afraid if I click in other spots, it's going to break it. But this also might look just too unnatural in that. So we're not going to do that. What we're going to do instead is something similar. So I'm going to go to hue and saturation. I'm going to grab the yellows again. I want this color here. So I took this in November. So the colors are changing. Let me see if I can just do that. Just fix this a little bit. Is that better? No. And then we want to go like that. Okay, cool. I want to grab this because I want to change the saturation of this to be green. Oh, that's the saturation. I want to change the hue to be green. Kind of like this. And then we'll desaturate a little bit. And that's going to make this just look better. Except I don't want it on the marble here. Because it's going to turn this all green. So I might not be able to do that as well as I want. So what we can do is we can just invert this. I can just grab a brush that's really light and really soft and just paint on this green here. And is it going to mess up some of this? Probably. I could go in very meticulously and fix it, but it's fine. So we have our happy little tree over here. This very green dead tree right here. It's clearly... Look at all these perfectly good trees. I'm going to set the opacity down a little bit on this brush so I can really go in here and just do that. I think that looks good. I think I want to change all of this grass down here. So let me look on here. Grass perspective. Because I want grass like this. This is what I want, but not so close to the ground. And the good thing is if we have this, we can do cool stuff with this if we put this here, depending on where the grass is. Because we can have Jayden Daniels, you know, closer to us. But I want something sort of just like this. I just want like a grass lawn. Should probably search grass lawn. Because I just want sort of generic grass. And I have some. I just want to see if we can find something that we can use. Yeah, like a golf cart, a golf course would be good. Like this is good. Like this panoramic shot of just grass. So let's put this up here. So I want to make this a little bit larger. And I just want this right here, like this. And what happens if I just take this and I just mask this with a black gradient like this? Great. It's just what I wanted. I'm going to invert this. And I'm going to go in here and just sort of paint in this grass. And I'm doing this with a weird brush. You know, let me grab the grass brush. So Photoshop has a grass brush. And if you haven't used it before, what it does is it takes the foreground and background color and paints it. So let me give you an example. So if my foreground color is orange and my background color is, you know, let's make it blue. If I have this and I draw with this, it's going to give me shades in between that color, which is kind of fun. But for this, if I have black and white as my color, it's going to give me black and white, which isn't what I want because I want it to paint white. So if I make it all white, it'll paint just grass. So I can go in here. We're in the right spot. The good thing is I have this nice ledge here. I can just paint with this small brush at a flow and opacity up here at the top at 100%. And then I can paint this in. And what we're probably going to do on top of this is we're going to put some of these shadows back in. But this is going to give me sort of a rough brush up here instead of a super clear one. So if I back out, it kind of looks a little bit natural. Theoretically, it'll look natural. I lost where my cursor was, so I hit caps lock. That way I can see where I'm going to paint. That way I can just draw straight lines, very small, and I don't have to worry about the size of the brush. I can just paint around all this stuff. And a lot of this stuff's going to be too small, so it's like, it doesn't really matter what it's going to look like. I'm just going to need to put back in some of these shadows. And once I get the dominant parts of this done, I can obviously make my brush larger and zoom back out and just make it really big, or just grab a regular brush, take this off and just go, okay. We have some green grass. So I'm just going to go in here and paint this green grass. What I'm going to do too is I'm going to take this, I'm going to make a copy of my background, put it up here, set it to multiply, only apply it to this. I guess I can just put it inside of this. Go to the adjustments. I can use a
curves.
Use a curves layer to really lighten it up. Set this back layer to multiply. And this is just going to multiply on top of this. But I want to set this to normal because I want to see what I'm doing. So let me put this up here first. So I have a curves layer. I might use a curves layer, but I also might just use because I want it to be just black and white. I just want it to be shadows. So I can just grab a gradient map that is this color. And I just want the super contrast of the shadows here. So I want the shadows, or I want the grass to be white, essentially. And then see the shadows from there. So I kind of want it like this. I can always duplicate it a little bit. But like, this is good. This is what I want. I'll combine this into a smart object. Put it on top of here, set it to multiply. And then we have some of these shadows back, which is what I want. So we'll paint this grass back on here. Can be a little bit willy-nilly with it now because we have the shadows on top. So I can just kind of go like this. You know, obviously it's not on this tree. Oh, and I don't have black, so I can't paint black back. Put this tree back in. Maybe we just add a little bit of a fuzziness around this. And then we have a new lawn, which is great. It's just what I want. I'm going to save this just so we have this set up. Now, this grass color sucks because it does. So I'm going to go to adjustments. I'm going to go to selective color. I'm going to go to our greens. I'm going to add black to it, which did almost nothing. I know I can add some cyan. If I remove magenta, it'll make it more green. If I add yellow or remove yellow, you can see what it does with that. I'm going to take our shadows here and I'm going to get rid of this down here. I don't want any of those leaves on here. So I'm going to do this. But then we can just go to like adjustment and use another curves and just make it a little bit darker. And that selective color is going to do a little bit more. Save, go back here. Now we have this nice image of the Capitol building that we can use for our design. So we jutted over here. So just as a reminder, we started with something that looked like this. And now we got this. So I think this bodes well for something up here in the top right hand corner for lighting. So if we have Jayden Daniels here, kind of like that, we put the Capitol building like here. I think that might be well. It might look good if we overlap it. So we might do that. I really can't make up my mind on that. But then we can have Jayden Daniels down here, you know, skirting around, running sort of naturally. I think this is kind of nice. Like this, maybe a little bit smaller. Right now what I'm trying to think of is the sort of perspective of where he's at. So like, I think like compositionally, this looks nice. Like him running away from it. Capitol building. Him running. Sort of thing. Let's just give him some feet shadows. That's not the zoom button, that's X. So I just like this grass better than the grass that was there because it's a little bit better. It's a little bit more in focus, even though it's kind of a little bit not in focus, but we can always fix that. Okay, so for the feet shadows, and I'm not 100% certain if I use these feet shadows right. I just use them however I want. These are Dean Davies feet shadows. So I always just like make one and then just sort of turn it into a smart object and just sort of put it down here. Now there's grass in the way, so I can go in and fix this later with a grass brush. But Dean Davies has these shadows. So here's an elevated leg foot shadow. So this is an elevated leg. So I'm just going to click with black. I'm going to turn it to a smart object and put it like right here. And maybe we duplicate it and like widen it a little bit so it hits the left side. I can mask it out a little bit so it, you grab like a regular thing. So he has a, if I get rid of this, he has feet shadows. I can put this sort of like that. So he's got some shadows. So this is a lot more natural than just drawing with like what a circular brush. So we've got him together. We've got this there. We've got the shadows. That's good. I'm going to combine these together and set them to multiply just because I can. Even though it's black, it's just multiplying on top of nothing. So I'm going to do front Jayden here. Front Jayden, spelled that right. Okay, so I'm going to mask this out because his feet have grass on it. So I'm going to grab our little grass guy again. And I'm going to paint only black. If I paint with just this, it's going to do both black and white. And it's just really blurry and I can't see what's going on. So I want it to be just black. So I'm going to change both of them to black. And then when I paint, it's just going to paint grass. So I can go like this and sort of paint him into the grass. Now I think one thing I want to do is I want to edit this grass a little bit. So I'm going to go up to filter. And I'm going to go to camera raw. And I just want to fix this. And I can do stuff in here. Like I can add a bunch of contrast, which is sort of what I want. It's going to hit okay. It's going to make it darker. Let's see if I can high pass it. See if this breaks it. Let's do like 1.5. Which looks really stupid, but I can click on this next to it. I can click on overlay and then do like 66%. That should make it a little bit sharper. It looks like that. It's not too bad. But Jayden has his shadows, so we can put him, size him up wherever we want. And then we have him throwing here. So I would like to keep him in the composition fully. So what do you guys think? You think I think I should have him over here solely compositionally, but the Capitol building itself and him take up a lot of space. So I think the only way I fit all this in here is if I really just make everything a lot smaller. I like to use these guides on the side. I go to view guides, new guide layout. And if I'm at 300 pixels per inch, I can do it with these numbers. I like to have this padding. What I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add in more padding. And kind of use this as a guide. So I think sometimes I don't make things small enough. I have stuff too big. So like for instance, like I made this Taylor Swift design forever ago. And I printed off posters of it. So it looks like this. But I think just what this is missing is more padding on the edges. I tend to fill up canvases, and I think I just need to shrink it down a little bit. So we've got Jayden Daniels here. We've got this here. Let's make this a little bit smaller. I'm gonna make this like as small as possible. I think the smaller we make this, the easier it will be to sort of put Jayden in the background, is really what I'm thinking. So maybe we even do something like this. And we put Jayden down a little bit more. And then we have... How do I want to do this? I'm going to duplicate this smart object. And I'm doing that because I can turn all of this off. Turn off the sky. Save it. And then I can just grab this as a mask. Just mask out Jayden. And then turn it off. Invert the mask. And now we have Jayden behind the sky, but not really, but he's behind the sky. So this is what we're looking at right now. So it's sort of, where do we put Jayden Daniels? Make him a little bit larger. See, we can put him here. I should be able to grab this and this. I guess I can just turn this on and put this here. And then delete this layer mask. So I can figure out where I want this. Because if I have it bigger, we can't see Jayden. And if I have it smaller, I think there's too much stuff that gets in the way. You see what I mean? So the way I have him here, I think he would need to be over here. Or even smaller. But I don't want to, like, shrink him up here. So I think we do big. We do big. And I kind of don't want the football off the edge, you know what I mean? But we might be able to do something kind of cool with that. We put Jayden here. And then we have the Capitol building a little bit bigger. So what I always say is big, little, littlest. So the composition is this. So we have Jayden big, then we have the Capitol building, which is the next object you see. And then we have small Jayden running like this. And then what we do is we take this guy, move him over here. We invert this, so then his hand is over here. So he's kind of like cycling, reversing through. I think that's a cool little workaround. So I can grab this. I don't need it on that one. I just need it on this one. And we can go like that. So this is what we've got going on. So we got Jayden Daniels in the background. Of this, we have his hand breaking through this, and we have him running in the front. I think this is a fun little composition. Let's take a look at what this looks like. And let's do this thing called
Save As.
And this is already a PSB file because it's so large. I'm going to save it. PSB file is a Photoshop file for large file sizes. So I think what I might want to do even, I'm going to put this into a group like that. Is since we know we're going to do this, we might be able to make Jayden a little bit smaller. Let me hide this real quick. I'm like thinking alignment wise, where do we want him? Where do we want this? These are in the same spot. Okay. We want this just a little bit over here now. Kind of like this. Do we just make everything a teeny bit smaller? And then we can really fit all of this in. You know, we can fit this big Jayden back here, where I don't have to clip the football off because it's off to the side. But then do we make this just a teeny bit smaller? I think that's the play. We just make it a little bit smaller. So there's still plenty of room for him to run here at the bottom. But then we have more room, oops, for Jayden to be like right here. And I don't mind this. I like how this is his elbow, is what it's called. His elbow's back here. I think that's good. We can make him a little bit bigger then. And we're sort of like in the same composition that we were a little bit ago. I think this one's just a little bit nicer. This could look exactly the same as it did, like, 5 minutes ago. I'm not 100% certain. So I'm gonna grab this, put that there. Grab this. I'm inverting the selection of this, so when I move it over, it's just his hand. I can line that up perfectly, and then I invert this, and then he's in the back. Okay. Then I can move these however I want. So maybe I want to move them up, down, all around. We can do that. And I can hide this crap here, and then there. This is what we've got going on right now. What do you guys think? I'm almost wondering if we don't have anything in the background. I'm trying to think of something else. I'm trying to think of something I did with this Texas graphic I made. So I made this Arch Manning graphic, which had a sports card in it, which we could do here actually. Might look pretty cool. Let me open that up. You might have seen me post it, because it was one of the cooler things I made last year. Let me pull this. So it looked like this, but behind all of this, behind the card and all of this lovely stuff, is this background. And I think I want to do something like this with the background. So I'm thinking now, we go back to bridge. What can we use to encapsulate a photo? We could use this of the Capitol, which is very recognizable. We could use the Washington Monument, but it's not really wide enough. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what object can we put inside of the Capitol building. Do we have access to a photo of FedEx Field? Like, this would be really nice to just use as a shape, Let me pull this up into Photoshop. And who's to say we can't do both? So I'm going to increase contrast. I'm going to increase the exposure. Highlights go down. Shadows go down. Whites can go down. Blacks can go down. Contrast. Remove. Yep, I want a lot of contrast. The color mixer, I want the luminance of the blues to be high. Greens to be high. Greens to be down. Yellows down. Oranges down. Reds down. Blues up. Purples down. Magentas down. Okay. So I'm going to hit open. So basically all I did here was I made it so I can go to the channels and go to the blues. And we can cut this out using channel selections. And I can't do calculations on this. And hit OK. Yeah, it's just going to make a new one, which is good. Okay, so I'm going to go to image calculations. I don't know if I want to do linear burn. I think I want to do this a little bit more delicately. Because I don't want the edge to be so crunchy. So I'm going to overlay it. And then just do that again. It's going to give me this really nice black and white image. So the idea with this, if you missed when I talked about this, is this needs to be pure black, pure white. So I'm going to go into image adjustments and grab a curves. We didn't pull it up. We're going to do curves. Curves. Hit the buttons. There we go. It's not fun unless it works. And then I'm going to go in here and just say, hey, make this pure white. And I want to make this pure black, which it's doing. Basically, I want this whole thing to be black and white, which looks pretty black and white. But if I go in here and grab a regular brush and paint white, I can see that I can't see anything. So that's good. What's up? Graphic Dan. So I'm just going to go in here and just paint with black because I can. And this is just a round object. So I can just fake it because who's to say what it looks like? Really what I'm doing is I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, I'm going to imagine something cropped to the inside of this shape. So what would that look like? It would look something like this. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's going to be sort of small. And I can paint over here like this. And then we have this nice file. Now I've got this spot here, and I'm sort of dodging the reflection from my light here. What's up, Kevo? If I set this to overlay, what it does is it actually adds contrast to both the white and black. So I can do that. So then I have this nice capital cut out. I'm going to set this back to... No, I want to set this to overlay. I'm going to use a softer brush, though, and use like 4 and 4 and just sort of go like this. What this is doing is it's just making the darker spots darker. It's not doing anything really to the light areas. And then if I grab this now, I can go here and mask out this image, invert it, not invert it, invert this, and then I have this shape. So I'm going to copy this shape over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here. I'm going to hide all this stuff up here. So I have this shape here. So we have this big capital shape. So what happens if I take this capital shape and mask our background to that and then hide this? So we have this shape here. Then I take this, make a new smart object via copy to just delete the layer mask. I go in here. I remove the sky from the background. So then this is just its own thing. It's updating smart objects. So it looks like this. Like this looks kind of cooler just because of this background object. Now we can't see it because of he's in the way. So we want both of these to be linked together. This really I want in a group. And the only reason I'm putting a group is so I can just move these around wherever I want. And if I turn this back on, I can move this over here. So it's sort of a nice little treat we have over to the side. Now, it's not really what I wanted to do, because what I would have wanted to do was to grab a different sort of photo. And I thought I had on here. So usually 2-star things, if they're things I want to merge together. So actually, let's go. I don't care about ratings. It's fine. So if we use the Capitol building, can I grab a photo like this and put it somewhere so we can utilize that? And I think what we might do, and we said we weren't going to do this, and I might have different photos from a different DC trip that we can find. But we could put like the Washington Monument there, or like this photo in there. So it'd be sort of like this. Let me just give you an idea of what I'm talking about. This would be in the middle, kind of like that if we hid this, and then this would be here, blown up a little bit. You know, kind of like this. So it's one object, different guy behind it, except not that image, essentially. Let me look and guess the last time I went to DC. Luckily, I kind of have these photos organized. So it would have been after that. I'm just looking at folders of places I went. So I went to DC in 2015. So I might have some other photos in here. So I'm just looking real quick. Oh yeah. See, so the last time I went to DC beforehand, the 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 Capitol building was getting refaced, so can't do that. This is the Supreme Court. It's like we could put the Supreme Court somewhere. You know, they call him the Truth. We could put the Supreme Court in this. We call him the Truth somewhere. This is a nice building. We could probably have it somewhere. I'm going to star this command 4. Wouldn't all of the white background be a negative space? It could be. Like, it's not bad to have that negative space. It just depends on what we want to do. What is this? A building. I know I took a lot more photos of just buildings this first time I went. So, like, here's the Washington Monument. Not the Washington Monument. The Lincoln Memorial. Which could be something. Washington Monument. We could plug in there somewhere just because we can. These are World War. Like, this is nice. See, I like this better. This daytime photo. Did I take one straight on? Of course I did. Actually, I got one of these with the plane in the background, which is fun. Plane. So we could do something like this. And have this jutting out. We just have all these stupid people in the photo. Gotta get rid of all these hooligans. Which we could do to a point. Nice Washington Monument. This wouldn't be bad. And then we just had to figure out how to put him in the front. Did I get better photos of the White House then? Yeah, we were allowed to be closer to the White House because it's Obama's White House. So I have like clear photos of the White House like this. This would be cool to add. Let's do that. Do I have one of these 3-starred? This one is 3-starred for some reason. Let's do that. Let's add this White House photo in. See, so we can do this and like make this a little bit smaller. And then we can have him running on the White House. It's an idea. Do you like this? Do you like this better than... But if I have him here, it seems like he's running away from like Trump or something. And people might be like, what the hell is he doing? Right? Really, I need this shape to be not the Capitol, so I don't double up the Capitol buildings. But it doesn't look bad. It adds something interesting to it. You know, I'd probably go in here and just sort of I gotta set my brush settings. They're still on overlay. I can just paint this back. So it's like this. And then the only sky is whatever's in here. Oops. I want to turn that off so I can just move this around. So, you know, I can put this here. Oh, did I move it too much? Yep. And kind of at that point, it doesn't matter where the sky is. Like, this could be anything. If we have this in the front, this is just shape in the back. See, this is where we get into the meat of what the hell do we want to do? Because what we could do is we could duplicate these guys, flip them over, and do something like this. Do something real weird, you know. Grab these guys, grab this. Rotate them around a little bit, make them smaller. Then we take this guy and put him up here like this. And then we take this guy and we like put him down here like this. We do something like this. Is this too weird for you guys? Make a this sort of we want to make a card design out of it. This is a card, right? So we could do something like that. Sort of in the end. I don't want to delete that guy. I want to delete this. Because what I would want is to solidify how this looks. him with the background. Maybe we delete this. We don't have that, so we just have this. Let me duplicate this again. I don't want to duplicate it, though, because if I duplicate it, it duplicates both smart objects. So I want to make it a new smart object. And then we just get rid of this. And then we just get rid of, okay, it's saving. So down here at the bottom left, it says it's saving, and then it's going to pop up. So now it is all accurate. I want these to be linked. I should just link these together now. So when I move one, it moves both. All right, I think I'm just overthinking a lot of what to do. I think I want, you know, the sky to be coming. I want something to be coming from this area because that's where the sun is here. It's really noon, but, you know, it's coming from this side. We can light him up this way. It's just, do we want to use something with this background image? Or do we want it to be more just Jayden Daniels leaning, where it's like this, and he's running, you know, just in the scenery of the Capitol building? Or is this the main focus? Then he's just sort of chilling in the background, just sort of repeating himself. I guess I can just put this down here. So then he is, delete this layer mask. So he's like kind of like this. Maybe we have him purposefully going off the sides, you know, but both of these are behind this. Maybe there's 3 of them. Maybe it's a purposeful, you know, 3-person thing going on. Or is just this going to look better, you know? Because our initial inspiration we had, you know, is stuff like this. So, you know, if it's, this was the initial inspiration. But just the way he's looking, like if he was looking the other way, I think it would make more sense. Or if we had the Capitol building flip-flop, it would make a little bit more sense. But I think we're just going to sort of focus on something like this, where we have this going on here. So we have him running away, and then we just do something cool with the lighting. Maybe we add another building back here, and then it doesn't matter. So... Oh, JK. Yeah. Sure, Shard. Keep it up. Let's see here. I think we're going to do this. A secondary element up here would be smart, Kevo. Yes. This works out well. Here's the thing, too, is do we want any text on this? We could put text here. That would work out. Like here, let me see it here. So this has like, you know, 1 billion people in it. And I have other photos I downloaded of Jayden Daniels that might work. I just didn't put them on here. Like this works out well because we've got this going on, and stuff here. And the focus is on him. So theoretically, you know, we could blur this in the background, but I don't think we need to. We'll probably tilt shift it though, because it'll just look nice. So we just have this one. I can hide this for now. Let me tilt shift, blur this. Oh, I really need to make this tilt shift like super small. Hold on. It doesn't really need to be a tilt shift because it's just sort of from his feet. And then the blur like starts here. So it's tilt shifting back here. A field blur might make more sense. Let me do 15 like that. This will definitely put the focus on him here. You know what we can do? and I should have thought of this earlier because I like to do it, is we take our background and we put our background inside this silhouette like that. And then we blow this up. Kind of like this. And then he's running away from it. We should have just done this from the get-go. What other Jayden Daniels images do I have, though? Because I downloaded a couple more. They might have better silhouettes. So, like, do you think this would be better? I think this might be better. All right, so let's go in here. Let's go to Photoshop. Let's hop in here. Select subject. I don't really care what this photo looks like because we're just going to edit it and just basically use it as a outline. So I'm going to smooth this. I usually smooth it to like 5 or 6. I could smooth it more. And then go like this. What is what behind me? I have a lot of things behind me. Can you be more specific? I've got posters on the wall. It's the bookcase with a bunch of books in it. There's a 1/18th scale Roy Lichtenstein BMW art car. Ah, there's something moving on your live. Cool. Don't know. I'm assuming nothing. So I'm going to do this here. And it kind of doesn't matter how this looks to a point because it's going to be just a mask, but we can go on here and do this. All right, we'll go like this. Shard, you watch me all the time. What's your favorite video? All right, we're going to cut this out. I do want this part to be a little sharp because it's going to be a little bit larger, so you can be able to be like, oh, this is where his armpit is. It's going to look kind of busted if I don't do it decent enough. But then this around here is just going to be sort of smooth and all around. Kind of like this. I don't really care what that looks like because who's going to be able to tell? No one. It'll be our little secret, essentially. Whoop, go back here. I don't know if we're going to be able to see down here. I think we're going to cut it to like this. So I think this is pretty solid. So we'll go like this, go like this. Did I fix this? No, this is all busted in here. So we'll fix this real quick. I have the wrong tool selected, so we'll do that. Get rid of this, get rid of this. So this is going to combine sort of 3 or 4 of the inspiration things for this together, which is why, we grab inspiration to begin with to figure out what we want to do. I'm just sort of cutting off part of his arm because it's not going to matter. I just want it to be nice and straight and smooth, which is what the smooth is for. But we'll do that. All right, I'm just going to copy this smart object and paste it here and then put this on top of it. I do like this photo here. So we can go like this. Have Jayden Daniels here in the front, running away from the impending apocalypse, or whatever we want from the Capitol building. Put the Capitol building nice and big right here in the middle. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these together. And then I can add this to this. And then I can just paint in here because it'll be fine. So it's the idea of, you know, a helmet and something. And maybe we just make it all a little bit smaller so it fits in this screen, kind of like this. Blur gallery kind of looks bad. We'll turn that off for now. I think what might look nice is if we have these are linked. Have this part jump out of it, but I don't know if we're going to have the availability of doing that without destroying what this looks like. I do like how his foot comes off of here. I know that was something I said here, you know, I liked how this looked, so we're kind of doing that, which is cool. It's just, how do we want to have this position? Do we want it more upright, over to the side, and he's kind of jumping out, or do we want it more natural like this? So the shadow is in here, but then he's jumping out of it. And I think what actually might look nice here now is if we add this back in, like this, beneath this one. Kind of like this, where we have Jayden Daniels up here now. Doesn't need to be the focus. And then we take this back area and just move this over slightly. Maybe make this a little bit smaller. Kind of like this. I think that works pretty decently. I wonder what would happen if we... Really what I would want is this to be like... width to be -80. So he's going this way. But he just looks broken and busted. So we'll put him up here. And then we're just going to make everything a little bit smaller. Kind of like this. So then we'll have that intentional white space and figure out if we can put something back there with it. So we have the Capitol building. So we need to make the Capitol building just a little bit larger. Capitol building here. That way we still have grass. Now we can grab this and put this here. I guess I can just do this instead. No, that wouldn't work. I'd have to do something different. I don't want to do that. Can like knock it out essentially. And then actually we take all of this and then rotate it slightly, or rotate it this way. Is that rotated enough for it to make sense? Or would it need to be like this? Or maybe we rotate this, but we don't rotate this. What's up, hater? Welcome to the stream. Maybe we do something like this, and maybe this guy is more upright. Kind of like this. And it's just chaos. Those are connected. I need to take front Jayden. Put him more like this. I don't know if I want the shadow to be off of it. I don't think I do. So I think this needs to be sort of contained. Oh, I guess I can just take this. No, I can't do that. Take this and go like that. You think this background, this guy looks better tilted this way? You really can't tell what it is either way. So I think it's kind of fine. Well, what happens if I get rid of this now? Kind of adds those gaps in, which is kind of nice. Let's just do this. Just drop him down. Tilt him this way a little bit. Put him back up. I like these white gaps because they add spots we can put text on purpose. So let's do this. Grab this. Delete this, go here, go like that. You got the grass down there, which is good. Put this there, that way I can move these sort of independently. Oh, this is probably in the middle of nowhere. No, it's right there. Okay, cool. Actually, I can just do this, I think. Let's make sure I don't have anything blowing up my phone. All right, I think Jayden needs to be just turned a little bit. I think he's kind of fine. I really just want his foot like off. How far off do we have him going? I think that's good. Let's grab this. Okay, this is the same, so that's good. So I want to just adjust Jayden. Okay. So this is our new composition. So if we look at... I don't want Safari. I don't think we're going to add much to this. I just like this design. Sounds sort of like, where do we want this little light source to be? And how can we manipulate the light? How do we want to add photos? I just liked this sort of front yellow paint on this, which is why I downloaded it. We can add some of this stuff in the background, some grit and grain maybe. Can add maybe a piece of his jersey. Adding jersey stuff to the background is always a good idea. Maybe we have something back here that breaks through this as well, or something back here that breaks through. I don't want to be too stereotypical with some stuff. Let me go to eBay. Let me search Jayden Daniels jersey. I look at a lot of sports cars on here. See, I want like this. See, their jerseys aren't anything special. It just says Daniels. So it's not like his name says something cool. Where it's like not... I can't find it stitched on. So we won't add that. Let me grab the Commanders logo while we're at it. So fun fact, if you want to grab a logo from an NFL team, you can just go to their website and then their logo here is probably an SVG file. Just click and drag it to your desktop. And then you can drag it in there. Then this is a vector file, so you can do whatever you want with this. Oh, I know what I want to do with this. So I'm going to make a new smart object via copy with this. We're going to open this up. Yeah, I could probably do LSU stitched. I feel like it's sort of an easy thing to add to stuff, and I don't know if I want to do that. It's really like the question in my mind. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to grab the dark parts of this, save it out. So I have a dark part, and then I can go here, grab those parts, delete, and then I have the yellow part. So I have them separated. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I can duplicate this. I'm going to give this a color overlay of black. Oh, disappeared because I clicked on something else. I was like, where did it go? So I'll give this a color overlay of black. I'll get rid of this so I can show you what we're doing. Basically what we're going to do is we're just going to make this a shadow. So if let me sort of hide everything. See, look how nice this just looks, how it is, cut out with shadows. You can just do a lot with just simple things like that. So we're gonna take this, we're going to blur it just a little bit. I'll blur it like 3 pixels. Then I'm gonna go to the blur gallery, I'm gonna do path blur. I'm going to delete the path blur, I'm just gonna go straight down. You can hit enter to sort of apply that. Over here, I don't want it to be center blurred. I want it to taper, so it's tapering downward, which is what I want. It's at 50%. I can taper it more or less. I can also add noise if I want, but I think that's good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to duplicate that blur gallery. So I've 2 of them on here. I just need to move it somewhere. It's not letting me do it. I'm doing that just holding down the Option key. I can pull this back up here. And then it'll blur it again. So I'm going to change the blur gallery on this. I don't want it to. I don't want the taper to be 0. I want the speed to be more, I think. No, 50 is pretty good. Let me do 25. So if I move this up a little bit and set this to multiply and set it to like 75%, it's just like a little shadow hanging off the wall. Just gives it like this little shadow. So if I do that to this one as well, so if I duplicate this and just copy over all of this stuff, this should give me this sort of effect where I need this to be a lot less. You know, it sort of has this shadow. So it gives it a little bit of a 3D look. But what I want to do then on this one is I want to bevel and emboss it slightly. I just want to give it like this little nice little highlight. So I'm going to set this to a lot of numbers just so I can see what I'm doing with this. I want it to be deep. Let's do 400 and then we just drop this down to like 3. I want this to be screen, but if I screen it, it's going to look like that because of the contour. So I can change it to be that. If I set this to overlay, it looks like that then. I want this to be like 50 then. Then I can take this bevel, apply it to the background. I like how overlay looks on yellow, so we're going to do that there. Is the overlay going to look good down here then as well if I set this to overlay? What's that going to look like? And what do we see here? Is this an outer bevel? No, it's an inner bevel. Ah, it's doing the bevel as well to the background. So I just need to move this up just a little bit so it covers that up. But I have sort of this Washington Commanders logo, and I'm actually going to give this a gradient overlay. Set to overlay. I don't really want it to be black. I really just want it to be white to, I guess, white. And look like that. That's what I want. We'll do the same thing here. Except this gradient overlay can have black because gradient overlays on orange look awesome. So now it looks like this. So it's just a cooler looking version of the logo than just the plain. So logo. And maybe we add to this. Let me grab a circle. This might look stupid, but we're going to take a look at what it looks like. Stroke of 0, we're going to give it a fill and then set that to screen. Except we want the fill gradient. You can see it live over here, which is sort of what I want. I think I really just want this to change. Yeah, I want it to be like this, but I don't want it to look like garbage. What if I duplicate this and put it down here? What does this look like? Set both of these to like 50%. Except this is in the back, so it would be slightly higher, slightly lower. It would be something. But I need to change this. So this linear fill is going to be, if I set this to 50, if it's, technically if I set this to overlay and I set this to 50, which it's breaking, so hopefully my computer doesn't explode. There we go. If I set it to 50, it shouldn't show up because of an overlay. So I'm going to duplicate that, put it down here so I don't have to change it. Put this here, drop it down a little bit. I like how the other one looked actually down here better. Just need to set this to like 25. So it has like a slight little highlight to it. which is kind of nice. Then we can turn all this fun stuff back on, except for this. And then we have a commander's logo we can do something with. We can just put it somewhere. Yeah, we can put it like right here or something, make it a little bit smaller. Wow, why is it doing it? It's because of all the Gaussian blurs. So every time I do something, it has to like reset these blurs. So let me turn these to smart objects. There, now they're smart objects. I don't really care for how these look. So I'm gonna make them really light so you can't tell that they're there. But now I have a... You're not gonna let me move this? Okay, now we have the logo we can put somewhere. You know, we can put it over here. We can put it here, but we can put it behind. Here we can give it the same thing here, so it's behind this. But it's in front of him. Let me just put this into another group. Yeah, we can tuck it in like this. We can do a lot of stuff. Let me just make sure. Let me quit out a bridge. Just because I don't like how sometimes bridge just makes my computer super bogged down. Turn this back on. Yeah, I'm gonna make this smaller. And just put this somewhere. We'll leave it here for now. It's here, it exists. Okay, so for the background, let's add some stuff to the background. Let me know if something's going on well with the stream or not. It says it's buffering. Let me quit out of some stuff. It shouldn't buffer, but if it does, it does. Save, save, save. Let me just check here. Stream's fine, good. Yeah, just YouTube's telling me something, but as long as the stream's fine, it doesn't matter. Let's go to our background here. The sky. So the sky we have is only... It's only in like a certain spot. So we might be able to make this smaller and just sort of crunch it up a little bit. So it's more interesting. Kind of like that. And then with the sky, we'll go to the adjustments, selective color. I'm going to go to blues. We're going to add blue to this, cyan. We're going to add black to this. I'm going to remove yellow, which is going to make it a little bit lighter because of color theory. And we'll do that. So is there anything in the background we can put instead of white is the question too. I think the white works because there's a lot of contrast to this. But there might be something that we're missing. I think what we do... I'm going to keep inverting this. That's why I have this on here. I think what we do is we sort of... maybe we grab their yellow color. That look good. Commander's yellow hex code. Team color codes. Grab this. Go back here. What if we go here? It's not the right button. Add a solid color of this yellow. It doesn't not work, which is good. I'm going to set this to multiply on top of it and then just go like this. But do you think white works better? Here's the thing. We can always make two. Just change the background. So that would be good. I think I'm going to do white for now because I think it just looks a little bit better than this. And we can add more lighting and stuff a little bit easier. Jayden Daniels is going to go down here. You can also add stuff in the background. Maybe we just add a grain and the grain is that color or something like that. So we set this to color. How do I want to add grain to this? So I'm going to add... Oh, you know what we're going to do? we're going to turn this into a smart object. We're going to go to filter. I don't know how to do this how I want. We're gonna mosaic this. See what this looks like. Looks super weird. 50. No, this doesn't look like how I want it at all, so. Right now, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. For what it's worth. Don't want that. This just looks so bad because of how this is. Okay, let me think of something cool we can do. It's not really cool, but we can do that. I have some textures I made. I want to see what I named them though. Here's some stuff I feel like somebody made. That I randomly just found. Here's some old stuff I made forever ago. Here, you want to see some stuff I made when I was coming out of college? Let me see who made these. I didn't make these. I don't know why I have some of these on here if I didn't make them. We're using 2 Photoshops for separate things. I'm using it to create GIFs for Behance. Yeah, those are important though. This is what I used to make. I don't know if I made these. Oh god. We would make like ads for car dealerships. Like I made this kickoff savings event. What was this, 9 years ago? Anyway, back to what we were talking about. I don't want to open a bridge because it's just gonna bog some things down. So let me just look on my server real quick for some assets. I don't know what to put in the background of this. I like the idea of doing this, but like I would need to blur the hell out of this because this looks like crap. Kind of like that. See, it would just have to be sort of like this texture. I don't hate this though. Let me add the solid color back. Or do I make it their color? You know, we can make it, let me set this to normal. Make it this, I can duplicate this. Grab the commander's color. Change these to the commander's colors. So, you know, there's different things we can do. And we can do it at the end, too. And see what it looks like. But let's do this. Let's commit to this. We've got this going on. Let's take a look at our inspiration we had. Really, it's some lighting that we can do to sort of accentuate some of this stuff. So I think that's what we're going to do now. We're going to do some lighting on this. Lighting is what I'll say. I just need my drawing pad, which I've thrown somewhere, apparently. Got it. Okay. So I've got a Wacom tablet like this. This is usually what I use to do lighting, just because you can use touch sensitivity on it. So we're going to do that. Let me just hop on here, grab my pen for it. So there are a lot of different ways to use lighting, and I have to fix this. which I don't know if I can do that. I need this. Give me this back. Yeah, okay, break. Great. My devices. Hold on. I just need to change the monitor for it. It's set to this, my main monitor. I just need it on this monitor. Okay, there we go. Now I can use it. So the way I usually do stuff, usually I have stuff being darker and lighter. So from my understanding, what I would want to do is let me set up a sort of flare. Let me set up a light source. Let me just search EJD flare. No, come on. I guess I use these a lot. That's probably why these are all things I've used these flares in, which is fun. So these are just flares that Ethan J designed. They designed a couple more times. Let me go to his mega bundle. Let me just grab a light leak instead. Which doesn't make a lot of sense, but we'll put this here. Put this on the very top. Why is this keyboard not working? Very weird. So basically I can like sort of set this up to be like, this is the light source. Except I want the height to be -45. So I want it like this. And maybe we go like that. I don't know. So this is our light source. It's coming from this area here. So what we're going to do, we've got the main guy here. So I'm going to sort of neutralize this guy here. So we're going to just sort of underexpose him just a little bit. And I've looked up a different video on how to do this. So we're going to do that. Because like I can't draw highlights on white. So I'm going to make this darker so I can draw highlights. So I'm going to go to hue and saturation. I'm going to go super bright on this here. Except not that bright. I'm going to brighten it up like this. And then I can go invert and then we can go from here. Okay. Oh God, how did I do that? Go back. How do I fix that? How do I undo the rotation of my window? Good, I accidentally fixed it. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a brush. This is just a regular brush, except I want a touch sensitive brush. So I'm gonna go soft, round, pressure size. So I can make this smaller. I have my opacity set really low and my flow really low. I think I'm gonna have my opacity be higher, but my flow be lower. And then if I paint with white, it'll paint on sort of showing me where the light areas are. And I'm just using this as a reference to what is lighter and what needs to be lighter. And then I can always fix and change stuff later. So usually what I want to do is I want to go along the edges really lightly. Really what I would do is I would make a fringe on this, but I'm not going to do that this time. I saw this other video on how to do sort of this. So I'm going to do really fine details on the edge. So I'm trying to think of like what is hitting where. And really this is going to only look as good as how well I draw it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to paint here. You know, this would be painted, this would be painted. I'm trying to just think of if this light is coming from the bottom right hand corner, where is it hitting? How far down here is it hitting? You know, it's going to hit down to like here. But how much of this is going to be very solid and how much of this is going to be a lot lighter? And it looks bad now because we're going to do a blend if on it. It's going to blend it in. It's just going to look a lot better. but I need to paint like this is going to look a little bit different than this here. And this, I will say, is an acquired skill that I don't have the best skill on. Like, this is something I'm still working on, making stuff look great. Because I see stuff like I showed you before, like Johnny does, and there's some other guys who do really, really good lighting. I think the difference is they just have way more patience than I do. I like to be speedy with things, and I might tend to over rush things on a design where they might have the focus to fix it. I think most of the time, a lot of the times, it's because I have, and I know they have the same too, but like really, really tight deadlines for things. So, where I might have, and I don't want to spend, 2 hours on this just doing lighting, but I'm trying to think what is hidden. So this is all going to be dark. So, this is probably light, like up to here, and like this is probably dark. Where is there like a light here that like sort of shines through? Is it on his jersey a little bit more like this? And the issue is his jersey's white, so we can't see a lot of what's going on. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger and just sort of paint on here, kind of like this. And you see how it's bad right here? That can be fixed and will be fixed. So I think it would be a little bit on his shoulder here. I don't know where here it's gonna like cut off. It's definitely gonna be on his helmet up here like this. So this is what we did. So if I turn this off and on, sort of lighting. So like down here though, where is it going to hit his foot? So his foot's in front of him, but it's definitely going to be sort of lit up here, right? So like, would his foot need to be lit from the side going up here like this? And then where does it stop? And is there a hard stop? How does that look? Because the light would be theoretically hitting it. Now I'm going to turn on this thing here, which is a blend if. It's going to blend it in a little bit better. Now, do we want to set a specific color to this? Because I can duplicate this. Do I set this to screen? Maybe I set this to luminosity. If I set that to luminosity, it theoretically will just brighten it up, which is what I want. Maybe I hit colorize on this now, and I can colorize this to be any specific color I want, which we can't see at all. Oh, it's turned off. That's why we can't see it. So maybe we colorize this to be a little bit, just a little bit yellow. Dumb down the saturation a little bit, but you can see it's a little bit better. So that seems fine for that. But we need to darken spots then too. So we can do the same thing maybe with this hue and saturation. I usually use a curves layer, so I'm going to do that for this time. So I'm going to grab this curves layer and I'm going to drop it down a little bit like this. And I'm going to invert it. And then basically go in here and go, okay, where on this curves layer is it darker? It's going to be dark in the middle. Now here's the thing. I set up this blend if. So if I turn this up, you're going to see it better down here. Oh, we're not seeing anything because I was painting with black. So that's actually the problem. Oops. So that's why you couldn't see me doing anything, or it didn't look like I was doing anything because I was painting black. But I think one thing I don't do with lighting well enough is I don't have enough contrast. I don't go as deep with it as I could. Now, I don't want to go too crazy with this because it's like the middle of day. It's just there happens to be light coming from this side. So honestly, I might want to get rid of this exposure. Maybe this exposure we just have set to like negative 0.25. So then we can see that the lighting is happening in both spots. but it's not drastic. So I'm really just going to add in a little bit of darkness in some of these areas, mainly just the left side of his body. And it'll be subtle, but it should be somewhat noticeable. And what I'm going to do to this curves layer is I'm going to add some blue. So if I add some blue to this, it'll help sell it a little bit. And the opposite of blue is kind of red, but not really. It's more cyan. But if I turn this off and on, you can see where I'm adding the shadow. So I'm going to go in here and darken this up. And usually when I do these sort of lighting things, it's a very drastic change. It's dark, it's nighttime, so you can't see as much. But for this, we're just going to darken up the left side of him just a little bit, kind of like this. Hi, Gene. How's it going? So I'm going to turn this on and off. I'm going to get rid of the color over here. It just don't think it looks very good. But the lighting area part seems a little bit fine. I just erased that. I want to blend this in a little bit more. So honestly, I don't know if this is adding much. We've got this, and we've got this. It adds a little bit. I think it makes it a little bit better because it's a little bit more accurate to where this light is coming from this area over here with this light leak. And if I bring that in a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit more adamant. Now we can't see it as well just because this is a white background. If I turn this background on, we can see it a lot better. If I turn this background on, we can see it a little bit better even more. Let me go like this. So I'll turn this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy both of these and we're going to paste it on top of this other guy. And we're going to group them together. Delete the layer mask. I'll just do this. Click, click, invert. Click, click. So we're going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to start with the curves, which is going to... Curves, ready? Curves. See if it didn't show up, which was weird. Maybe I turned it off. I'm going to start with the curves so I can just darken things up. Because I mainly want to darken things up on this compared to making things lighter. So I'm going to set the brush to be 40, which is just going to make it a lot more apparent that I'm doing something. I'm just going to do it on the left side. Most of him is going to be pretty lit up because he's got all this light on him. Now I kind of want to sort of accentuate this here. And that's really all I'm doing is the lighting on this is sort of coming from that side already. So I'm just kind of accentuating it a little bit more. And I feel like anytime I want to accentuate something, I use that word a lot and I always spell it wrong, I feel. I think I always think it has an E in it for some reason. It starts with E, like an E and an X. That's definitely not correct. So we'll be able to do a little bit on his fingers here that'll show up pretty decently. Maybe on the inside of his pinky here for a second. Inside of his palm. This side of his hand and his arm. Going down to here, and then we can put this in like that. So this is before, after. Adds just a little bit. I think it looks pretty decent. Subtle lighting's always good. Just add it in nice and subtly. And one thing we can do is we can always go back in and fix the cutout since it's a smart object if we want to make it look better. It might look weird. So we can go back in and we can fix that. Put a little bit of lighting on his face. So like the issue with this is theoretically I should go in and like paint around the inside of his face mask. So like all the left sides of those. Make this huge. So the left side of the face guard would be darker than the right because that's where the shadow's coming from. But I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I'm going to blow this up. We're just going to really sort of willy-nilly do this. And I'm doing this super, super fast. I know there's probably people out there who stream and they do like really nice lighting and stuff like this and they spend like all day on it. I don't have the patience for it. interesting. That just looks a little bit better, this than that. Just fits the scene a little bit. Maybe we change the color to be 50%. Okay. Kinda want to do this now to the background here. I turn this on. Just do that. Okay. So we're gonna add the curves. How do I want to do this? So I want to do the same thing with the building now. So this building, I want to darken up this edge. I think I want to make it a little bit, I think I want to do the exposure too. It's doing almost nothing. But I can go in here and darken it up. And what it's doing is it's adding a little bit of that blue as well, which is just going to make it sell the illusion of darkness a little bit more. Kind of like this. Let's grab actually this hue and saturation too. And we're just going to paint on this side of the building to brighten up this side of the building. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to pull this out a little bit more. It's not going to hit these shadows as much. So I can really just go wild with it. And it'll be completely fine. Copy this one, but I want to duplicate this. So this is what we've got going on, which I like. We need to figure out a way to put text on this. I like the quick little lighting we did, which is good. What are these other guys down here? I'm just gonna delete this and this. So we've got Jayden Daniels. We've got this going on. What is that? That looks really bad. I think it's this curves here. There we go. Save. Okay. So this is where we're at. I think we can put text down here at the bottom. Maybe we put some text here. There's some basically open spots for stuff. I think Ketmo mentioned we could put like a helicopter on here. We could do something like that. We can have something that is breaking out of the frame. So we have him breaking out of the frame here. This is sort of breaking out of the frame. He's breaking out of the frame. It would be nice if something building wise broke out of the frame. And let's see how this looks with this yellow background. See, if we had this background as yellow, we could have some clouds coming out. Like if I went up here, I could just go to filter, render clouds. Just gonna render clouds like this. I can set that to screen. I don't want to do that though. Instead, I want to make a solid color. And that solid color is going to be this color. Then if I go to the mask, I can do clouds. And then if I go here and hit this button, I can go in here and then basically say mask out or mask in. So I'm going to mask in. I hit a wrong button. I can go here and then with my brush set to overlay, I can go in here and I can add or remove sort of to these clouds. So I can say this one big cloud is coming out of this and paint around all the other ones. I can come in here really delicately and say this cloud is coming out, but nothing else is. And the more intense my brush, the more intensely it's going to fill in or not fill in that area. So down here I can all sort of just finagle it, it'll be fine. Add some clouds here. We got some clouds right here we can put in, and this might not look the best. Do I have like a cloud brush in here? Grass would be good. Something in the front. You know, I'm a big fan of blurred things in the front. So I think that would work out. What's up, Tank? How are things going, Tank? Did you guys start the semester yet? Tank was one of my students at Sinclair. Yeah, humorously. So I'm not teaching at Sinclair this semester because I wanted sort of a break. But as of yesterday, it turns out I'm going to actually teach at UD because they need someone. So I said, sure, why not? So I'm going to do that, see how that goes as sort of a challenge. I need this to be in front of this, kind of like that. So I got to start doing that next week, which is probably going to affect my ability to stream humorously because I want to stream, but I went to UD, so I think it'll be pretty fun. So I'm just going to change the color of these clouds a little bit. And one thing I like to do is do a bevel and emboss on these, maybe. I don't want it to be overlay. I want it to be multiply. I want it to be super soft, though. And the multiply underneath is actually just going to be a slightly darker version of that color. Kind of like that. Let me set it to 100. Yeah, turn that size up to nothing. Think you should do that, yeah. Humorously as well, say this too. Dayton is hiring a graphic designer for athletics, which I looked at for a minute or two. I just don't think they have the appropriate funds that I would want. Just selfish, but true. Grass. Flying. Oh, video work. Oh, they do a ton of video stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Matt Barnes is the guy who does all the video stuff there. If you want to look at what he has. You could try and ask them about like getting an internship. I don't know if they would do an internship for a non-UD student, but it's worth asking. Kevo, do you have a website you like to use for stuff like that in the front? I feel like those are always such hard things to find. Like grass flying. Like I know I have a couple things. Let me just look. Like I have this sort of thing. This is more like dirt hitting the screen than anything. Well, maybe these frames in order. So, you know, I could put like frame. Man, this is not working. I don't know why that's hockey's not working. Like I could put this here. I guess grass flying would be just sort of like a brush, wouldn't it? Let me look at these 3D assets. There's not going to be anything in here. They might have something on here under graphic. So the funny thing about Adobe being expensive is like, I just, grass. Like I talked to them during Black Friday to be like, hi, I'm paying too much. Oh, golf, yeah. Golf shot. But I want a golf shot alpha. Oh, I guess I can just check mark alpha channel. So this is going to be all like super 3D, like really terrible stuff. Yeah, this is exactly what I thought. Golf shot. I guess if it's isolated enough, I might be able to find a photo of it. Sorry, but yeah, back to Adobe. Like this is good. It's sand, but we're close. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I agree it would look good. If he was in sand, it'd be perfect. We just add this. This might work though. Let me download this. But basically with Adobe, you can just argue with them and complain on Black Friday when they give a deal out and just say, hey, give me this deal. And if you get to the right person, they'll just give you the deal. So like I saved a bunch of money because I was paying the full price for all the apps last year. Here we go. There's some grass. And they gave me a lower rate, which is good. Yeah, we got all this stuff here. I'll just have to isolate all these out, which shouldn't be too bad with some of these spots. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, which one of these is going to look better? I think both of them will. So we're going to put this in front of small Jayden. We're going to go here. So we're going to use that channels selection. Red, green, blue. So we got blue. So we're going to image calculations. We're going to overlay it, which is great. We're going to hide this. We're going to then mask this out. And then we're going to invert the selection. So it's just grass. We're going to put that into a group together. And then we're going to just basically cut all of it out. And then we're going to cut out everything that's the golfer in trees and keep everything else for the most part. And I'm actually going to give this a solid color just so I can make sure it's cutting out. It actually cut out. It actually did a pretty decent selection of cutting. I can see there's a little bit of a weird area here. So I can fix that. Get rid of the ball, get rid of that. Get rid of this to here, to there. And then I can just grab a brush that's an overlay. And I gotta do it here. Get rid of, oh gosh, wrong one. Black. Get rid of these areas, except 100% is way too much. %. Just tighten this up a little bit. Okay, so if I get rid of this, I should be able to turn this to a smart object. Delete this and paste it. Man, some of these hotkeys for some reason aren't working. I don't know if it's because I have this plugged in. Let me unplug that. Yeah, Wacom tablet, whatever you broke. Okay, it's fine. What do we got? Grass. Okay. Just make this a little bit smaller. I want this to be minus 65. That's the thing too, Kevo, is like, would I be able to AI generate grass flying up in the air, isolated, better than this? Probably. I think this one's going to be better though. Go to channels, go to blue, go to image, go to calculations, calculate that out, hit OK, great. Grab this alpha, hide it, go here, go here, go here, click this, go back, go here. Turn this to a smart object for no reason, mask it out, and then invert it. Okay, then we set a background. We set the background color to be blue. I made the duck blue. I should really make it white because it's going to be on white. So you're not really going to be able to, you're not going to be able to see. The background's going to blend in, is what I should be saying with my words. So I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to make it a darker color just so I know I can cut everything out. And you see that there? Like, that's a problem. So I'm going to go to Edit, Adjustments, Levels, which is a little bit different than Curves, but I should just be able to pull this black over a little bit like that. Okay. So now we cut everything out. That's not just flying grass. Good call on the flying grass and the chip shot, Kevo, because I should have figured that out because I golf. That's what I need to do. I need to just go to a golf course with a, what, black background? Like a black piece of, like, poster board. And just, like, take shots of this. Oh, this is much better. Yeah, 3D would just make it yourself. I mean, you could also, I could make this, I could also fake this in 3D and figure it out that way. I'm just not good with 3D. Let me hide this one, because this one's much better. So I can do this and then just darken it up because it's a little bright. Yeah, film on grass. Right, I could do that. That would be kind of humorous. Let me blow this up. I'll just tell my dad one day, be like, hey, we need to go to the range and do this. My dad's a member at a country club, so like, I think that would be pretty funny. It would be more private is why I'm bringing that up. So like, if like, we were out there doing that, no one would care. So we'll put some grass here and rotate it so it's in the front. Running like this. I think we get rid of the curves. No, we need the curves there. Set this up and then Gaussian blur. It's going to do default. Oh, it's 500. Is that 2015? Yeah, there we go. We'll just sort of put it right here and see what that looks like. Where'd it go? Set the opacity to 0 and the fill to 10. That's pretty good. Okay, so this light leak has been bugging me because it's taking up too much contrast. So I want it to be more like this. Okay. So this is where we're at. It has been 2 hours. This is what we've got going on. I think a lot of this is good to go. And honestly, if this is hidden here, you think I need to add more shadows? I think I need to add more shadows to darken up parts of him here because it's behind the Capitol building. So I need to really darken it. I don't think I need as much red and blue gone. So I'm going to take this blue and red and sort of go like this. And I'm going to invert this. Do I want to do this? Is the question. Because I can just delete this layer mask. I can mask it to this like that. And I can just move this over. Kind of like this. And then maybe go like 15. And then maybe we just change the opacity of this to like that. It's not bad. It's not really what it is, but it's gonna look better than not having it there. Okay. You know what I really should do is I should just fix his arm so his arm fits in the composition better how I want. I think I might bust that up though if I did that. I think it's fine. Okay. So here's the inspiration we have. We've talked about this a lot. So the question is, how can we add text? How do we want to add text? Do I want to add random pixels because we've been doing that in the other ones? Or what do we want to do? So this is, Phoenix Sun. There's some tertiary stuff in the background that's kind of nice. This has a more just elegant way of having it at the bottom. This is points based. I like this, how he put Welcome to New York here blurred out. So he sort of included something with the like subway system in the background, some other stuff that's creating different angles. So we've got this in the front. I want to see how we can add more depth to this. So like if we move this logo somewhere, so if we put the logo like here, that sort of fills this area, which is kind of nice. Let me go back to this. What if we get rid of the... So you see the grass a lot better now. I don't know if we need the blurriness in the front. What if I get rid of that? This one's not too bad. Let me just set this to like 5. Okay, so we got the grass coming up now. You can't see the clouds as much though, but maybe we don't need the clouds on there. So let's add Jayden Daniels down here somehow. So what's a fun way of adding text? What can we do to spice this up? Add text. Just look at things. You know, it's just, we could use Druck, we could use Tungsten and just type out his name or something like that. We could go the USC route and put some scripty text in front of a regular text. I'm trying to think of what fits the vibe of this. And do we want the background to be yellow? Do we want the background to be this color here? Maybe we just post 3 different versions and just see who thinks what looks best. Engagement bait people, essentially. You guys have an idea of what we can do, what text we can put on this? Because it's sort of, let's do, oh, that's right. I was going to do something Rookie of the Year related. Let me find something real quick. So I made this, which was I could do a mix of black letter font like the Constitution. Oh, duh. Do something with the Constitution, you idiot. Duh. That would be smart. But in here is... Oh, did I just make that shape myself? There's no way I did that. Here's a photo of this award. So this was a card design I made featuring Micah Parsons for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I made this on a stream. But I was going to put like the trophy down here for Rookie of the Year. I think that would look cool. NFL Rookie of the Year trophy, NFL honors. It's all the same trophy. So really I would just need a better photo of this. I need an NFL honors trophy photo. But I need one of just like the actual trophy would be preferred. Not a 3D render. That way I can put it into a setting and it will look normal. Like this, but not this. Is that this photo? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find the right angle. So maybe we don't do that. Okay, let's go back here. Did we put the Constitution in the background or something like that? I'm trying to think of how we can add depth between the outline shape we have here and the background behind it. We do a good job here of things blending sort of in and breaking that plane. How can we get something behind it? So we've got Daniels up here. Let's go to fonts.adobe.com. You just make sure nothing's breaking. Just hit browse all. We the people select. Listen, Rhett, you're coming up with great ideas. These are all great. These are all great ideas that I should be having. We're gonna use all of these ideas. I mean, I'm gonna steal an image of We the People that's on the actual Constitution, which I don't think I have a photo of. Is this an actual photo of the Constitution? Hold on, can we go to archive.org? Do they have the Constitution on here, you would think? Hold on, high-res photo Constitution. Here you go. America's founding documents, high-resolution downloads. Thank you, National Archives. The Constitution. Hello, I'd like to download this file. Thank you. How big is this file now is the question. .78 megabytes. That's not big enough. How big is this? Oh, it's actually decently big. Okay, so we're going to mainly isolate this area. So let's grab just a levels adjustment. I'll just grab the blacks and then grab these. Let's grab a
gradient map.
God, I love those. Okay, so we're gonna take this. Oh, this is what I'm keep clicking on the same thing. So we want the whites to be more dramatic, and we want the blacks to be more dramatic, like this. And we're gonna do this, and we'll just go doodly doop doo doo doop doo 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 doop. Grab the We the People really poorly. It's fine. Man, I gotta grab all these like side things with it. Gotta grab this. Technically part of it. This is technically part of it. Thanks, Daniel. The whole reason I have these those stingers is because they're hilarious. And then they make me want to use gradient maps more. Okay, we're gonna turn this to a smart object. We're gonna come back here. We're gonna paste this on here. The texture on the Constitution paper. Yeah, if only I could get rid of all of this text. But yeah, you can't buy this. I mean, you can, but look at that. You can't buy that. So We the People. Maybe we have We the People here and we put it behind Jayden. Then we line it up a little bit better like this. We set this to multiply, so it says We the People. Maybe we take this and we have We the People. Maybe we put this in the back. What happens if we just grab just the whole kit and caboodle? We just grab this. We just grab this and just paste it right here. And just set it to multiply. But we don't set it to multiply, we set it to overlay, because overlay looks awesome, but that looks like crap, right? That's because we take this and we say if the current layer is white, we pull it over like this. So then it's just this really subtle texture in the background. That looks good on this, it looks good on that, and it doesn't show up here. I don't usually use AI upscaling. The only reason, I've used it before, depending on the project, and it's just because sometimes it just muddies it up and it doesn't maintain fine details. It's like if I took a photo and just turned the noise reduction up all the way. I just don't like how it looks. I think we're gonna put a paper texture in the background of this. What else do they have on here? Page 2, page 3, page 4. We got the Bill of Rights and the amendments. Declaration of Independence. Man, look how faded this thing is. Is this how faded it is in real life? The stone engraving? Oh, wow. Okay, that's nice. This is what you need. There's a stone engraving of the Constitution? No, okay. That's the thing, though, is, a lot of times, if something's done for the government, you're going to be able to find it online and use it. So, like, NASA photos you can get and find and use, which is nice. Okay, let's set this back to 0. That looks like crap. That looks better. This looks better than both of that. Hold on, what is happening? I don't know. We'll figure out something with this. Okay, let me hide this again. I think that's a good... We're in the good section, but do I want fonts instead? We the people. I make it like, buddies, we the people. Make it like this. Not even close. This is a dope font, though. I'm also signed into the wrong account. So let me fix that real quick. Let me swipe my credit card on this. But not really, because I'm paying for it. It's funny, I tried to put on some stuff. Here we go, now we're good. Like use pixel, use the transparency grid on purpose on some stuff. And every time I use it, they're like, hi, can we remove the transparency grid? And I'm like, no, I want it there for a reason. You would think someone had to have made some sort of font based off of the Constitution, right? Like just some type designer. It wouldn't be on here. It would be somewhere else. Constitution font. Like, please be... Yeah. Please be absolute garbage. U.S. Declaration font. Adobe... Oh, this actually isn't bad. American Scribe. Oh, okay. We're using this. Let's go to Three Islands Press to see if they made anything else that's cool. Look at this. Look at these guys. These guys are giving me what? This to give the people what they want. Thank you, Three Islands Press. Okay. Scribe. Scribe. There we go, American Scribe. Ah. It's all caps, which looks terrible. Is my caps lock on? There we go. They can make We the People here now, nice and big. We can put it on a different line. Go like this. I think we need to put like the Washington Monument behind him back here. But it'd have to be the same angle. I think a different angle would look weird. But this whole thing looks weird. Alright, before we add text, we're going to add... Script font works nicely with the slant motion of the background mask cut out. Yeah, I think I know one thing I'm going to do. Which is a default thing. But who doesn't love a good default thing? Jayden Daniels auto. We're going to put his signature on here. Now, they haven't come out with any cards of Jayden Daniels. So his only card would be Eminent. Yeah, that would make sense. The best thing to find would be a National Treasures auto. Yeah, Daniel. It's just... I need a scan of a signature. I need someone who did an eminent, who got an eminent of him. Eminent. Is that what it is? These basically big photos of them. Because this is actually a big photo, a big signature. Like this. And then we're just going to be lazy and we're just going to screenshot this. And hopefully it didn't break. It didn't. And we're just going to toss this in here. Then we just go to a gradient map. No, I thought it was going to work again. We hit it again.
Gradient map.
There it is. And we basically pump up all this green and then we pull this guy back. Kind of like that. Okay, turn that into a smart object. Do this. We'll turn this to a smart object again just because we can. Make a new layer. Set it to black. And we'll paint over some of this. Paint, paint, paint. Probably could have used a channel selection or something like this to get rid of all the green or something, but this works too. And honestly, we're probably going to blur this because me likey blur. Okay. We'll say the X, and then we'll go yoink, yoink, yoink. And this is just sort of making it just look nice and cleaner. It's taking away really the marker situation from it. And good, I was gonna go get my dog, but she has come down here to me because my wife left. She's probably just gonna sit and whine at me now. Probably grab her in a sec. Oh, she's got a treat. She's fine. Okay, so we've got this. We can set this to screen. We've got Jayden Daniels right here. It's gonna look baller. Bam, Jayden Daniels like this. If we take this mother effer and we hit blur. Look at that. One thing I like to do with signatures, though, is I'd like to add this color lookup of candlelight. Put it on it. See what that does? Adds a little bit of yellow to it, which is kind of nice. I think we're going to keep the background like this, because if I get rid of this, we can't see anything. So I think I like the background like this. I think it works a little bit. I'm just going to duplicate this one more time. Invert this, set it to screen. Don't like that at all. Just do that. Overlay? No, multiply. It's fine. Okay. So all the light's coming from this area, which is nice. We got Jayden Daniels here. We've got his signature. It's in the front. I haven't done that in a while, to be honest. It's fun, though. So now we can focus on text up here or something like that. Maybe it's small, indescript text you can't even read. You can add that. It's always fun to add. That's something that my old boss would do when I worked for a company called Z Design. I don't think he's done a lot of personal work because he got a new job. But Chad here, he would put, all reliable, just text that is completely incoherent. You can't read it at all. But he always had really nice compositions on stuff. All this tiny text nobody's going to read. All this tiny text nobody's going to read. So whenever I put tiny text on something that nobody's going to read, I call it the old Chad Curtis. Make this logo 90%. So the question is, where can we put text? And why do we want to put text? We could put Jayden Daniels here with some text below it. Something needs to go up here. Needs to go up here, though. Is it the Washington Monument? I don't think that would look good. Do we put Jayden Daniels up here? Do we put the We the People up there? We bring our We the People back. Bring this guy back. Set it to multiply or something. Maybe we have it set like this, where it's we the people. I like this idea. We take we the people, but it's just a textural element that's like right here. So when we take this off, it looks like this. And maybe it's set to overlay. But if it's set to overlay, we don't want the white to be on it. We just want the dark spots, essentially. And it's just sort of this texture. But then it's like, why not have that texture everywhere? So we duplicate it, but then we take this guy and we just drop this down a little bit. And then we have a new texture. And we take that and we put it over here. But then we take that and we put it wherever we want. You know, we put it up top. We have it crisscross over things now. You know, we have it invade a bunch of stuff. Hi. Hi, little cutie pie. All right. This is Penny. Right here. Say hello. Hello, everybody. She's going to hop on my desk. I like this idea for the background as like a texture. But maybe we just add like the Constitution texture like you said. Because I know I have a paper texture that would work. Downloaded a lot of paper textures a long time ago. I want folders. Folder, 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 folder. If you think something's missing from this, let me know. This is sort of the thing, like, text is not easy to add to things. Text should not be the last thing we're doing, which it is. It should be integrated. Text on this is not integrated at all. And I don't think it's going to be. What is this here? See, this is nice. This nice paper texture here. Oh, I gotta putz around with this because Penny's here now. So one thing we could do. This is on the bottom. Put this here. Yeah, Jayden Daniels. What the heck was that? What button did I just hit to do that? So I could do this. Sort of select subject. Yeah. Okay, Penny. Frame this all in with like this is yellow or something like that. Where it's like this. I don't hate this idea. It really frames things in. Kind of like this. Or is there a different shape we can use to frame this in? I think this works because we've got, you know, are we the people textures over here that now do something? You know, they're not just there. I mean, they are just there, but we can do stuff with them. Can I like rotate this? Go like this. Then rotate it back. He's working. Would it look good to work in a gradient texture from the stripe sleeves and numbers around the design? Rhett, stop having good ideas. Stripes from sleeves usually good. I don't want to add the number stuff. I think the stuff they have is really aggressive with the numbers, and I'm not sold. This is an idea. There's something to that, but I don't think it's this. What if we take this guy? Or even, yeah, what if we take this guy? Negative 10. I want that. I want like negative 200. Do this. Go like that and then hide this. That looks stupid. I do have some jersey pattern stuff I could put on there. I just need to find it. Oh, I'm actually in sort of the right spot for that. So like all these like sports textures. So I've got like this. I thought I made a pattern though. I could have sworn I made a pattern overlay. Yeah, of just this. But the pattern overlay would be set to overlay. And then I just changed the scale to be like 45. Kind of like that. Pulls out the jersey pattern a little bit. I'm going to take the We the People. Let me delete this. I don't know if this is helping or not. I'm going to copy this, delete it. We're going to put it way down here with these two, except hide both of these. Can I just have it say we the and have it like real delicate like that? I don't even know if I like that there. There's just a lot missing with this graphic still. And it's just the fine-tuned polishing of it. Before we do that though, let's add some generic stuff I like to add to things. What do one of these look like? I like 9 usually. Just set that to like 5. What about this? Off, on, off, on, off, on. Set that to like 25. Okay, let me go here. I don't want to do color lookup. I want to do a selective color. Reds, negative 20 and 20. Yellows, negative 20 and 20. Bold that up a bunch. Cyans, drop them yellows down. Pop that up. Make the sky that kind of color. Make that solid. We'll go to let's go to libraries and just add some grain to all of this because we can. Because why not? Set that to overlay. Now we have a nice subtle grain on top of everything to sort of glue this all together. Is that another color lookup? Where's this bad boy at? Oof. Oof. Okay. Let me look at it from afar. I'm gonna bump up the greens on this. Saturation. Greens. Saturation. Oh, God. One thing we haven't done with this graphic, which like I've done on a lot of the other graphics, is we haven't gotten weird with anything. Let me just put these below this color. Let me just do that. I like how that looks. Jayden Daniels. I really want to put something here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to make this a little bit What if we put this up here? No, it doesn't work as well. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to go to Jayden Daniels on Google. And we are going to grab this. We're going to put it right here. So this is going to say Jayden Daniels because this is just sort of a... There's nothing here. There's good contrast here. Maybe we put the We the People right there. Did I delete that? No, it's right here. Let me invert this and screen it. Pull it down here. I need to put this thing way up here, though. It's not showing anything, though, because I have this blur set to it, or this blend if, and it's set to 0. So we'll go We the People. I actually want this to be behind this front Jayden. So I could put We the People right here. Coming out of his ass. And then we just type out Jayden Daniels stats. 8/9. Like this. We hide this for now. See, I like how this looks. I like some things about this. It's a work in progress. Make it a little bit smaller. Let's make this a little bit bigger. You can kind of read it, but not really. I need to remove this part of this that mentions a Hail Mary. As a Chicago Bears fan, I don't think I can include that. Okay, I need to get rid of just some of these aspects because these are other parts of a word that aren't on here, but that's completely fine. This is a different part of a word. So we have the We the People on there, but what we're going to do is I added a font recently, and I don't remember what it's called. But it's a hand font. Fat Boy. That's right. CC Fat Boy. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for watching. Have a little bit more sort of a relaxed stream because usually I need to take care of this dog, but the dog is on my lap, so that makes it a lot easier. I don't like that. Okay, what if I make this the color down here? There's a bunch of crap down here now that I don't know what it is. Should probably clean up some of this. My watch is probably telling me to stand. It's fine, watch. Is that where you changed the color? You changed it there? No. If I do exclusion, can I just make it white? Does that make this completely illegible? Yes, it does. What if I set this to be exclusion? And then Jayden is yellow. And then this is on top of that, but it's set to normal. What if this says we the people instead? Ah, it doesn't work because I have to like scrunch it up like this and it looks stupid. It looks ugly. We go to Subway. Yeah. I like these Subway fonts. Subway fonts are, they're sort of graffiti looking fonts that are on Adobe's website. Okay, so we're going to turn this into a smart object. We are going to add a solid color to this. We're going to make it black. Put this in the back. We're going to make our... let's make it... Whatever. We're going to make this larger. So this is going to be white just because. Try the bottom left with the blur. The signature. Like a signature? Yeah. It might go there. We'll see what this looks like. So this is a thing you can do. I'm going to convert this to a smart object. I'm going to add a threshold adjustment on top of this. And if I go to filter and Gaussian blur this and do it subtly, I can then add some effects to this. Let me see if this works. This isn't exactly how I want this to work. Yeah, that's what I thought. But I can kind of add this little bit of a spray effect to this. A couple different ways. So it says we the people. Let me just duplicate this and set it to dissolve. Yeah, that kind of works, but then I need to set it to be like a lot lower. So I can save this, and then we go back here. It looks like this. Then we set it to screen. It looks like that, which is kind of okay. But I want to take this even further. You can go to pixelate and go to crystallize, not color halftone. Filter, distort, pixelate, crystallize, and set it to 3, which is the lowest setting. It just makes it super crunchy. So I can go here then and say current layer, get rid of anything that's black. And then turn this to a smart object. And I can set this to be exclusion. I can make it normal. I can then give this a color overlay. That looks like this, and then can I put the gradient overlay on top of that? No, because that's how this works. Take that, then I give this a gradient overlay. That looks like that. So it says we the people. Maybe we give this a slight drop shadow so you can actually read it. Kind of like this. Then we take the Jayden Daniels text down here. What happens if we set that exclusion? Doesn't look too bad. I mean, I think the logo, I think this still works down here. I think I had this, which I don't hate right now. What if I turn this up a little bit? I hit this over here, which is sort of just some dirt. Kind of works. I think the logo, I think the signature just needs to be a little bit smaller. So this I'm cruising with. I think this would look better if there's overlap. See what I mean? Or if I go like this and make it we the people with the logo there. think that lines up better with him. We can always move him too. You know, front Jayden, we can always just move over here. So he's running. But I like his foot a little bit on here so we can see the shadow. We can always move him over. We have We the People. This is the text box thing. Move this here. Do we want We the People to be on top of We the People, or do we want this to say Jayden Daniels, or do we want it to say Rookie of the Year or something like that? I think we do this. So this is sort of on the same line. Move it over a little bit. We the People. This reads pretty solid. Jayden Daniels. His signature isn't too bad. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. You can see it a little bit better now. It's still blurry. It still looks cool. Get some crud in the front. Turn this off and on real quick. Just want to mask this out just a little bit. Right here. Just seemed a little bit funky. Okay, so we have this all down here is pretty decent. So then what goes up here? I think, I don't know if this is going to break. This is going to break some stuff. Let's do it this way then. This is a mistake, but I'm going to turn this all into one smart object. And then we're going to puppet warp this. Just don't like where this ball is. I just don't like this ball placement. I want to just rotate his arm so it's like this. I just like how this looks better. I can make him larger then because he can fit in this area. Does his arm look super busted or does it look kind of okay? I think we just need to drop his shoulder down a little bit. I don't think anyone's gonna notice, right? Nobody's gonna know. Maybe we can do it even more. The smart thing to do would be to cut his arm out separately. But it only looks a little bit weird, like you can see there. Alright, let's do this the right way. Okay, this is combined together. So we're just gonna duplicate this. Because I need to delete this, so I can always mask it out later. That's easy. Yeah, your designer's intuition would be like, why does his arm look super busted? I think I can fix it though. I just need a normal brush. And this might look cool if we did the thing where he's coming off the side now. You know, breaking the... Let's take a look at that really quick. Like if he's larger and he's like this, and we go like this and duplicate it and invert it, and then we put his hand over here. I think this adds a little bit to it. Do you guys agree with that? Especially if we put it behind here. Because we could move these wherever we want, essentially. Okay, let me fix his arm a little bit, and maybe... No, or maybe we just do this. I mean, regardless, I need to grab this, put this into a group, and then reverse it. Except it's this one. I need to do this. Okay, so I can delete this layer mask, and I can delete this layer mask. And then if I just link these together, we can put him wherever I want. The funny thing is his arm is still bugging me. I want it to be up higher. Let me get rid of some tabs so we can see what's going on. Yeah, I like how this looks now. I think this needs to be rotated a little bit the other way now, which is going to mess up a lot of stuff. Okay. I need this to rotate. Then I need front Jayden to rotate completely. Then I need the grass to rotate. I need to just rotate this a little bit like that. And then move it over a teeny bit. That's better. Okay. I don't think that broke too much, which is good. The only thing it definitely broke was these masks here. But I can quickly fix that by grabbing this and replacing the layer masks like that. Okay, let's just take a quick look at this now. Listen, we haven't gone weird with this yet. I just love when you take a yellow color and you overlay like a black and white gradient on top of it. It looks amazing. Let me just make sure things aren't blowing up. The question is, how can we make it even stranger? Okay. Let's do this. Let's take this. Okay. That's a thing. We're going to do that. Just what's the right number? We've been using mosaic on a lot of stuff. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I remember just now what I wanted to do. So I saw this dumb tutorial online. And I'll show you what it did, essentially. I'm going to make a new layer, combine all this into one layer. So we have this thing. So I'm going to make a new thing that's 200 by 200 at 300, like this. Okay, I want to see if I can get this to work. Circle. We give it a fill of almost nothing, actually. I want to change this gradient. Let me just change the gradient to this stupid circle. Is that so hard to do? Give this a gradient overlay of normal, but it's set to like 10%. And then we duplicate this. And we do basically, I have this action set up. It's what we did before, but wrong. Does it with like some motion blurs. But essentially it does this. What does this look like? Does this look like anything? I need to change the color of this to be 95% brightness. Okay. So I'm combine this together and I'm going to go up to image, edit, 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 define pattern. Okay. This is the thing I saw that you could do. And I kind of want to figure out how we can implement it because I think it would look kind of cool. So we take this, we go to filter, we go to mosaic, and we mosaic the crap out of this. Like this. Then we pattern overlay it with our fancy new pattern we made, but we set this bad boy to multiply. And then we just dumb this bad boy down to whatever fits inside these circles like that. And now we have the Legos. So like, how can we incorporate this is the question. Because that's pretty much what we just did. We just made a Lego. Let's do this. That's one thing I forgot. I wanted to do that on here somewhere. So I think we can do that with the background. I think we can Lego it up. Yeah. Someone did it and it was like, just like turning paintings into stuff. I'm like, yeah, you're not thinking high enough though. I'm like, you can set it as a pattern because they like just downloaded a file that like kind of looked like Legos. And I'm like, no, no, no. We can do better. I don't want to do that. I want to just give this a color overlay of white. Or this gradient overlay I just set to no, that's fine. Yeah, okay. Color overlay. Set the color overlay to white. Set the color overlay to white. See, if I do this, what I can do is I can grab this whole thing like I did. Shoot, combine all of this together. Or instead of it saying Lego, should it say Rookie of the Year? It should say Rookie of the Year. I don't know what Lego's font is. I have Legos over here. I'll just have it say Rookie of the Year in something in like Druck or something easy to read. We've hit a really fun part of the stream. We're almost done. So now it's just how can we make it weirder? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. So let me just copy this and put this inside of this in here because I can just kind of duplicate this stuff and then it'll make it look normal. I just need the bevel to not be so ridiculous. I need to give this a... Oh, and then I just need to duplicate it and then hit this button right here. Oops. Crap. Hit this button with the right one selected. And then go back here. And now it says that. So now if I take this, I can edit this, define the pattern. Rookie of the Year Lego. I can automatically just go back to this and just change the pattern overlay to the other one, and it should automatically change to that. So then you can't tell, but if we zoom in, it says Rookie of the Year. I just need to move it. So I'm going to copy this, and we're going to paste this like here. Oh, but I need to get rid of this. So what if we paste this on top? And then how can we pull back some of these elements, essentially? Pull some of these elements back in. Or is it just the background like this that is Lego that we can't really tell? I don't think we can tell because we have all this stuff on top of it. Or like we Lego brick this only, you know? Okay. This is very complicated to figure this out. Essentially what I want to do, let me delete a lot of this stuff, is I want this to be not brick. I want this to, sorry, shoot. This to be not brick. Okay, this to be not brick. Then this. Shoot, I'm adding a whole bunch of stuff that's not how things work. Okay, add this, add the logo. It doesn't work because of that. Okay, here's what I mean. I need to take this stuff that's in the front, I think mainly these, and group these together and basically mask it to just this stuff. That's not the bricks in the back. Or no, I could just do this instead. This is way easier. I just turn all this off. So then everything's the same. Make a new layer, paste it, and just apply the effects to that. Like this. And then I can turn all this stuff back on. So then it applies all the stuff to the same. So then it reads actually that they're different color Lego bricks like this. Then we just figure what goes on top. Right? So the logo goes, that goes on top. That goes on top. It's just, where do we put this now? Here's all the text. The logo needs to go on top of it. We the people. I don't care if this thing in the back, I think, looks kind of like that. So we take him and put him on top like this. How can we do that? We'll put this up. Put this on top of it. Okay, that's good. The clouds I like. Blurry. I think what I want to do actually is I'm going to put the clouds on top. This goes above this as well. So it has more depth. Then I want this. This is hidden. Oh, this is going to be perfect. Hold on, can I do what I think I can do actually? If I hide this, let's put this down here. If I just combine this together as a background, I can just pattern overlay this and mosaic it. It's going to be the same size. So if I want to make something like this, I can just add a pattern overlay and add a mosaic. And then that's going to turn into Legos. I can just do that. So that way I can just pick and choose what I want to be Legos. So I kind of want the background to be Legos, but then I want this green area to be Legos as well. That's actually really easy because I can just group this together and then just paint like this, Legos. And there, now that part is Legos. So now he's on Legos. Capitol building isn't. The clouds aren't. The text isn't. It looks like this. What do you guys think of this? Is this too much? Is this too confusing as to what's going on? Do I need to get rid of this grain so we can read it? Maybe I set the grain to like 50% or something like that. The Legos are individual, so I think I need to fix that. I need to give this a stroke of center. And I need the color to be like nothing. Like this, but I need it to be like 2. So then if I pattern this. Lego. Go back to this guy. I changed the pattern overlay to be the Lego. It needs to be more, right? I think the color just needs to be a little bit darker. I don't think there's an easier way of editing patterns, so this is what we're going to do. There, that looks more like Legos, right? That's the thing, like with the Legos, the different colors snap to each other, so that's like kind of where it's supposed to change, but they do have a different sort of thing going on. So is that it? Just these two? Yeah, these are the two things that are sort of Lego. Everything else is fine. And I think with that, it gives us enough detail and contrast in the background that we don't need anything else. But also, what does the Lego logo look like? Lego logo. So it looks like this. So if we can put something up in the top right-hand corner, let me just drag this. Can I just drag this to my desktop? This is totally going to be a... I should have made this a Lego box now. You know what I mean? Just like all the stuff's coming. Like, oh, we could do this, could do this, could do this, could do this. So what I'm going to do up here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a box up here now. Like this. I'm going to give it a black stroke of like 3. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to put this right. I'm going to put this right here. Make it the size of 4 Legos. And we're going to put my logo in this. New logo. New logo white. Is this just a white version of my logo? Dang it. Get out of here, actions. We don't need actions anymore. 5. So put it in here, but it needs to look like the Lego logo. So it needs to have a black outline and then a yellow outline. Okay. So let me hide some stuff so we can see what's going on. Stroke. Too much, too much, too much. Make that black. And we'll give it another stroke. And we're going to make it yellow. I can always change the color of that. So it looks like that. That does not look like the Lego logo as much as it should, which is pretty funny. Let me give it another stroke on the inside. That's 1 pixel. My keyboard works. Does that look like the Lego logo enough? Or does it need a fatter stroke? Yeah, I could do BJD in a bubble font. That's probably going to be a... Hey, what's up, font Adobes? You have a bubble fun. I want a fun font. I want a big fat thumb fun with 0 contrast. That's not handwritten. Lego font. Let me just download this. Download. See if this gives me a virus. Or see if this is actually a font. Let me get rid of this. Let me quit out of all this. Get rid of all this crap. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I was reading all the Lego font in between is black. I was like, what are you... I'm very confused as to what you were saying. What you're saying makes sense. I need the Lego font thick. This is a garbage font. This font is going to break my computer. Surprised it didn't give me an error. Be like, hi, you're going to get a virus from this. Leighton, we're already done though. And we're so close. You think it's better just how it is? Let me see what this looks like real quick, and then we can always scrap it. I'm gonna make this smaller, so this is gonna break. Yeah, go with that. See, Rhett, you're just giving me all sorts of just like bait when I post this. Building block of the franchise. You're the MVP today for the stream of stuff. What good ideas? Oh, wow, that's bad. Alright, so this is what we're working with. It's either this. Yeah, right? I don't think I want this. I think I just want the background to be this. But really, we're just adding Legos here then. So like you said, if we just do this, this is pretty fine too though, right? Maybe if we do something, we go full Lego with something in the future. I mean, I think I like how this looks. It's been 3.5 hours. You'd think we'd hit a stopping point at some point in time, right? We can make the background different too. We can make it even darker if we want. But you like, Leighton, you think this looks better than the... Man, it's just not letting me hit enter. Better than the, Yeah, so it's one photo of him, another, and then another. And then he's breaking out of that. There's the... This is the photo of the capital I took, which is fun to add. Let's just add a little thing over here. What dark background? This background is fine. Or am I gonna have to change a whole bunch of stuff? Hello, Nike logo. How are you doing? You want me to toggle the gradient off of this? Let me get rid of this pattern overlay. So it looks like this. This is yellow. This is orange. What are you thinking? I usually use a mouse. I use a tablet if I'm doing lighting. I did a little bit of lighting earlier. We need to toggle this off. Oh, you want it to be the... Do you like it better with the... You mean the layer I deleted? So I had this, but then I had this in their red color. Is that what you meant? No clue. I went to college. I went to the University of Dayton. Got a bachelor's degree there in graphic design. I learned a lot from pretty much just experimenting. You can learn like the Adobe programs, I would say, on the internet, but oops, I invert that. I learned a lot in college about the design aspect. Do we like this? Do we like this, guys? Yeah, Kilo, I'm a full-time freelance graphic designer. Do we like this full? Full border. Full border. What if the border is this color? Eh? Eh? Now we're using our brains. How about this? And we just use our brains and do this. Nice, Kilo. Where'd you go to school? This is, we like this. This flows better. I just need to make my logo and the Nike logo that I'm sneaking up here. Is Jayden Daniels a Nike athlete? Jayden Daniels sponsor? Oh, okay, yeah. Eastern Washington. He's a Canes, Hey Dudes, Urban Outfitters, Beats, Powerade, Next Gen, Nike Camps. I don't think he's a Nike athlete. I'm gonna put these up here. I really want to rotate this so it's, you know, Nike sideways and then BJD sideways like this. Do something like this. Let me set this to normal. And then current layer, we swap that off. He's wearing Jordans. Oh, okay. Powerade. I'm just gonna put a Nike logo on here because it's like the most generic thing you can do. Let me group these together and add a color overlay to make these this color. Does he have a logo? Jayden Daniels logo. Probably not. Ugh. It's all terrible when you just Google Jayden Daniels logo. Powerade. Powerade. It's not hard to just yank these logos off the internet, so we might as well, right? We'll just toss this one on here. Toss it in. Oops. What other logos should we put up here? I just put like 8 logos up here at the top. I put the Lego logo up here for no reason. Khalil, finding consistent clients is kind of, that's the hard part. A lot of it comes with networking with people. So like in the sports world, I just need to make sure people know my name when they need something to be done. So that's just cultivating relationships with people in a natural manner. I'm not like cold DMing people who work for like the Washington Commanders and being like, hey, pay me to work with you, you know, and stuff like that. I'm gonna put the Raising Cane's logo on here if I can find a black and white version enough of it. Please be an SVG. It's a ping AIF file. Ugh. Do I seek out clients? Kind of. I'll email people when I have like availability that know me. Let me try this. Just do one of these, you know, duplication things. Real cheese it up. So like if I know I have availability, I'll just be like, hey, I had some stuff pop up that I have availability on now. Does this not have this doesn't have a mosaic pattern. Okay. Oh shoot, I can't do that. I have to do it here. I know there are some people, cough, Dan, like you need to let people know that you're open to work, but you don't want to seem like you're dying for work and desperate, because they want to sort of be able to know that if they think you're busy, they think they're getting sort of a better deal out of it, which has some truth to it. But they need to know you're open as well. This looks stupid, right? I don't think this looks good. I just want one. Save this. This is there, and then we grab the old... There's too many smart objects open on my computer right now. We grab the old Nike logo. We go back here, and we just paste that bad boy on here and blow this sucker up. Like this. Fill to 0, and then we set the stroke to yellow. And it just looks like an LSU or a USC graphic because of these colors. I think just a little bit of line work in the back is going to do a lot. Don't save. See, I think that line adds a lot to this. I think we're in a good spot. Yeah, I would say if you want to work for Nike, just like keep making stuff Nike would make. Keep
I don't know who Jay Cutler is.
networking with people. Also, thank you for subscribing. I got very confused. Huge job removing the Lego vibe, but a graphic of an athlete as an actual leg figure in the scene would be very cool. Don't know why the mashup would ever need to be, though. A graphic of an athlete with a... Oh, with a Lego figure. Leg figure, I got very confused. I mean, they do it animated. Like, people make animated stuff, but, like... that's not... People don't do static. It's more fun to do stuff animated. I'm going to see if we can add some effects to this now, just to glue this all together. This is probably going to look really bad. So this is this HDR thing I've been sort of playing around with. I'm just going to hit OK. I'm just going to use the default one on here. It looks awful. Like, it's way too crispy and it looks bad. I call that crispy. I'm going to set this to like 15%. Oh, I usually go too far with stuff, and then I have to draw. I have to like reel it back in. I know clients. I usually go too far with stuff. Like the Lego, I went too far. Leighton reeled me back in. Now we're in a good spot. Let's add a little bit of a camera filter to this. Okay, what do we want to do here? Mainly, I want to go to the effects. I want to dehaze this a little bit. I like what that does. I'm not going to touch the clarity. I just want to add a little bit of texture. If I lower the contrast, I don't want to do that. I usually do this. Negative 10, 10, 10, negative 10. Hold on. Exposure. Unable to be seen. I got a new keyboard, and the minus key is bigger than the plus key. Or vice, strike that, reverse it. Add a little bit of vibrance, because we can. Let's go down here to the lens calibration. What do these do? Awful things. The green calibration is probably... do that. I usually oversaturate stuff, but I really like how it looks. Do that. Be cool to add a lens blur. Optics, we don't need that. We need a vignette. Just pulls the eye in a little bit, which is fun. Get out of here. What are you doing? I know what the adjustments do. Why did you... What? Okay. I wonder if a lens blur would look awful on here. Why is it not doing anything? Oh, it's thinking. Oh, a SpongeBob thing graphic? I did one kind of, but not really. See if I can find it really quick on my computer. I can probably find it on my website, actually. Hold on. Yeah. the thing with adding a vintage feel is sort of how, in my mind, it's mixing styles. So I would either make this super, super hardcore vintage, but I want this to be more photo manipulation-y sort of vibe. So that's why I'm going to leave it this way. Let me just hit OK. I don't know what does this look like? Yeah, it's just like adding in the corners. Let me copy this light effect and put it up here. I think that's going to add just a little bit more selling the light over here. Off, on, off, on. Yeah, on, good. Let's make it like 75% instead. Okay, cool. Let me show you that thing I was talking about. I made a SpongeBob adjacent graphic. So I made this John Morant graphic because he was wearing SpongeBob shoes. And then put like some stuff in the background and like just over crazy edited his face. I think I was just playing around with something. Gave him a bubble though, which is cool, and he's like breathing, so like that was fun. It's underwater. I really like this graphic. Turned out well. Distorted him with the bubbles. And that's the thing, if you want to get better, like that's sort of what I did was like, all right, for this, like for my next graphic, be like, all right, let's do something with Legos. Figure it out. Don't know what it's gonna be. Or do something with bubbles. How can I make a bubble look a certain way? All right, this doesn't say Jayden Daniels anywhere other than his signature. We should probably fix that, shouldn't we? So do we have this say Jayden Daniels instead of We the People? What I think about an aged paper overlay for the Constitution theme, that's exactly what I meant essentially. Is I would want that to be the theme from the beginning. And then I wouldn't want to sort of replicate that, or I wouldn't want to do anything other than that. Let me just see what this looks like. I think that looks fine. Do you like We the People better or this? I think actually having his name on here makes sense because his name wasn't on this graphic. I could have put it here. Jayden Daniels, quarterback. What do you guys think? I'll let you guys give me advice. I think I like how We the People looks. So I'm just going to add this all back here. And just type in here, Jayden Daniels, quarterback. And then sort of make this the same color. Thanks, Khalil. Yeah, I did, I talk about this, or I used to talk about this a lot. I did a 365-day project forever ago. I'm gonna use Druck because I don't care. Where I made a new graphic every day for a year. That was 8 years ago now when I started that, which seems like forever. So just last second, oh god. Just gonna put Jayden Daniels over here, quarterback. I like that. It's gonna be on the same line as this, lined up. I just need to make it smaller. I'm gonna make it like Termina. Make it like 8. Yeah, I mean that doesn't look too bad. Right? Right? It doesn't look too awful. What if I make this not that? Just make this filled in white. Contracts with clients. A lot of the contracts I have with clients come from them. And they're usually set up pretty solid. I honestly don't have a lot of experience with contracts. That's something I should have more experience with. That would come in handy. Do we like this here? With the white. Kind of guides us through this a little bit better, I think. I think it's good that you learned about contracts in school. I know that they exist. What did I mosaic? Oh, this. Can I do this? Then mosaic this. There, we're gonna do that. TJRXY, you're asking, is there anything I think a designer should do in general for composition? I know it's chaotic, but I kind of like the chaotic. Hold on, what if I make it yellow? If I make it yellow, it might look good. Now we're gonna go back to, we're gonna go to this, but we're going to add a mosaic on it because I feel like it. And I've been just adding mosaics to everything, and then we're almost done. I swear. Blur. Shoot. Good. Layers are turned on. What is my favorite aspect of design? Typography, layouts, etc. I don't know. I just like making, I just like doing what I'm doing here. It's like I'm just making something until it looks cool enough that it's done, you know? You can't read Jayden Daniels quarterback down here because it's illegible. But what if I set this to that and set this to white? Really, I think an answer would be like just sort of compositionally creating stuff. Like coming up with this composition as an idea to me is fun. Let me get rid of all of this stuff I don't need open. So I can have the stuff open I want open. I'm going to post next to this. I'm going to post just all brick version. Doesn't this look nice though? Like this looks nice. Just like this little tiny thing set up looks cool. I need to take this Jayden Daniels quarterback thing. Where's this text at? Oh, it's in this stupid thing here. I can't have it in here. I need it to be up here at the top. I need it to be like right here. Did I copy the wrong thing? Yes, I did. You've been trying to get design side of things recently and have the most trouble setting up all my elements. Yeah, it's sort of a acquired thing. Like that's what helped me most with going to school for design is composition, hierarchy. Like when I want you to see this, I want you to see this, 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 then you see this, then you see all these other side things that don't really matter. So everything has a purpose as to where it is. I'm adding this Jayden Daniels down here to counteract and balance everything out. About 3 or 4 years, you did jersey swaps for clients and extra designs. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who can do this and make compositions, but as soon as you add text on it, it looks terrible. There's a lot of people who do that. I hate jersey swaps. Like, I'll do them. They just suck and take forever. Personally. Any tips on having motivation to finish designs, starting projects, get less motivated when completing them? Do what I do. Have a goal in mind. The reason I'm doing this so well here is like I have accountability with you guys watching me. Like I could easily you know, not do this, not stream, and go do something else. What is going on here? I didn't want to do that. Do a bunch of research on existing designs, start mimicking existing ones. Yeah, so like if you want to get better at Photoshop, and this will help just with skills, but you'll learn composition along the way, is seeing some stuff other people make, and don't necessarily just straight up copy it, but figure out how they did something. You know, how did they mask this to do this? How did they get it to look like that? And you'll get better acquainted with Photoshop that way. And then better acquainted with just the tools you're using. You bought my card pack last year. Thank you. I was going to maybe make a card design with this as well, but we've been working on this design for 3 hours and 45 minutes. And I think we're done. Do you guys think we're done? I think we're pretty... I like how this looks. And to me, that's the stopping point. It's just like, we did it. I like how it looks. End result, all we need. Let me save this. I'm going to make a new layer. We're going to crunch it up. We're going to grab these effects and we're going to add these effects to it. Give it a nice little pattern overlay. We're going to give it a nice little one of these. See, look, now it's a Lego. Now it's a Lego set. So I can save this out as a JPEG, and I'll save the other one out as a PNG file. I want to save this out as a 100% JPEG. What are we saying? Go through Pinterest to spark ideas. Yeah, I mean, that's what I did. I grabbed like 15 things and just basically try to make it... I don't try to copy anything. I just want to make it look how I want. Love making card designs as well. One of my favorite projects has been making music artist cards. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to get more people to want to make cards with me so I can make them cards. Like the Dayton 6 cards I showed on my last stream that I made. Because really, it's all about printing. Like, I made this. I need to mail these out. Like, I made these first pitch cards for Card Collector 2. Got these actually printed out, which are pretty cool. And there's nothing like seeing your work printed. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to save this out. I'm going to export it. I'm going to make sure I didn't spell anything wrong. I mean, I only typed out "we the people" and then quarterback. And that's just text too small. You're not supposed to read. Khalil, I used a local company here in Ohio to print them out, which was lucky because they were here locally, so I could take a look. But I outsourced it to a professional printer to actually print it. I don't know any good sites to print physical cards from for like holographic stuff like this, because it's a specialized process. But if you want to look at, there's a company called, I think, Mainline Printing. I think they're in Kansas City or Kansas. Take a look at them, email them. Might be out of price ranges, I don't know. But they would be pretty decent to look at. I think I've had a couple people print with them before. You sure you don't like the Lego here? I think the Lego looks cool. I'm gonna post this and people are gonna be like, how do you do that Lego effect? It's also not enough contrast, and I need to make it not as gray. All right, well, I'm going to get this posted on the IG and the Twitter. And go take care of my dog who's lying dead on my Lego pen, essentially. Thank you, though, for hanging out for almost 4 hours. I'm going to try and make these streams, you know, as long as possible, as long as time allows. But I'll be back. I might not be doing these once a week because I'm going to start teaching, so I can't be a complete nuisance in my house, but... follow, like, and subscribe to this video. If you follow, you'll get notified. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you'll be able to be notified when I'm going to stream. It's usually going to be about this time, probably 1 p.m. I don't know what days, though. Not Monday, Wednesday. I'm going to be busy those days, but I will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me on this crazy journey today, and I hope to see you guys again. So you guys have a nice, lovely